Magic's in the mind. From coins to cards, he's got the tricks so real. Learn the secrets, feel the power. It's magic you can feel. How do you go pro? How do you take the lead? Misdirection, time, and all the magic that you need. Performance tips, handling crowds, it's your show. Building rapport, it's time for you to glow. Cockle close up magic, it's all in the hand. With the flick of the wrist, now you understand. Coins into sugar, cards with fire and flame. Ben's here to teach you this is more than a game. Learn to predict the word, no gimmicks, no tricks. A mentalist's power, no peek, just a fix. Card to condom, shocking, funny, and smart. Ben's routine will blow your mind, it's pure art. From stage to the streets, you'll soon know the game. With Ben as your mentor, you'll never be the same. It's time to rise, take the stage, take your chance. Magic is your language, come on, let's dance. Yeah, cockle close up magic, it's all in the hand. With a flick of the wrist, now you understand. Coins into sugar, cards with fire and flame. Ben's here to teach you this is more than a game. Rings that vanish, fire that burns. Every lesson learned is a turns. From Dynamo Troy, he's mentored the best. Now it's your time, put your skills to the test. Epochal close-up magic, it's all in the hand. With the flick of the wrist, now you understand. Coins into sugar, cards with fire and flame. Ben's here to teach you this is more than a game. Magical on society, we rise as one. With Ben's guidance, the magic's just begun. Free resources for everyone in this realm. Weekly jams where we all connect. Spreading wonder, what did you expect?
I absolutely love that music. I know some of you were writing in the chat. There were two views there. Some of you absolutely love it, some of you absolutely hate it. But regardless, you are all here. Hello, everybody. Give me a wave, give me a wave, give me a wave. There's so many of you. There's over 105 people right now that I can't even fit you all on screen. So let's go to the second gallery. Hello to the second gallery. Hello, hello, hello. We'll go back to the first gallery. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys feeling? This is so exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed our new tradition to create music about our lectures. If you really don't like it, message me after and we'll get rid of it, but I thought it'd be cool. Thank you to Guy Zax, by the way, for the kind song. Hello, everybody, and this is so exciting because there's so many new people. If you guys don't know me, my name is Alon behind the Magic Alon Society. I'm so excited and grateful for you guys all being here. We're a free community, and we do some of the best, most interactive, high-engaging lectures you will see in Magic, and you being here is already incredible. So thank you so much. By the way, can you write in the chat the word "me" right now? If this is your first time in a Magic Alon Society lecture, type "me" or "yes" in the chat. If this is your first time ever in a Magic Alon Society lecture, oh my gosh, that's a lot of you. That's a lot of you. Over 10 of you. This is your first time. This is exciting. And trust me, guys, when I say our lectures are exciting and special, I mean they're exciting and special. Before we introduce Ben, since there's so many of you here new, I will show you a little bit about how you guys can make your experience as well as Ben, our lectures, so much better and more exciting. But before we also do that, I am curious because we're an international community with over 85 nationalities. Comment in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? I'm really excited. I'm curious to know. Let us know. Let us know in the chat. And this side of the world should be asleep, by the way. So whoever that is, no, kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, thank you so much for being here. America, we've got, oh my God, England, Tel Aviv, Catalonia, Germany, Louisiana, Las Vegas, J.R. Smith, what? Oh my gosh, I'm jealous of you. I wish I was in Vegas right now. You guys are incredible. This is such an exciting group. Now, as I did mention, our lectures are a little bit different. We like to interact. We like to make these lectures as interactive as possible so you guys have an incredible time. As well as that, you're going to learn some incredible magic. If you haven't seen the lineup, Ben will tell you a little bit about it very soon. But it is some exciting visual close-up, impactful magic. Now, talking about Zoom, Zoom is a powerful thing because you guys can make the experience so much better. Make sure you guys are watching right now on full screen. Go to view right now and make sure you click speaker view. And once you do that, make sure you go down again and click full screen. That way, the entire time you'll be fully focused on Ben and what he teaches. And if you want to see people around you, don't worry because they're just going to appear. On top of that, you might notice, there's still people there. Make sure you just click that and swipe it down off screen so you can fully focus. And I can see already 43 of you right now have your camera on. Make sure you turn on your camera. This is an interactive lecture, and Ben might actually ask you for some help in some of his tricks. We'll only choose people that have their camera on. So I love that that number just went up to 50 right now. So make sure you turn on your cameras. Also, I saw in the chat a few of you comment about a small thing. We have fixed it now about not being able to rename yourself. If you want to rename yourself, it's very simple. There's 110 of us right now. All you click is you click participants. You'll see all the people here, like Alon right there. You click more, and then you click rename. By doing that, you're able to change your name. I know a few of you were questioning that. You can do that. You can type it in, change your name, however you want. You're ready to go. Awesome. And lastly, Ben wants to see you guys showing that you love this lecture. And the best way you can do that, hey, why not? Let's party. You can click the reactions and react. And by reacting on Ben's screen the entire time, he'll have emojis. And that will let him know that you guys are enjoying the lecture. So make sure you do that. Now, without further ado, I'm very excited to introduce someone really special. And this guy has created some incredible stuff. He's worked with Dynamo, guys. He's consulted. He has created some of the most incredible tricks. And in fact, just recently, he has released an incredible, I won't even say a trick because it's not even a utility device, it's a whole project all about switching. And I'm excited for him to tell you guys all about that. So I will bring up Ben in a second. But I saw Thomas' face, and he's one of our community managers. And I remembered, when I promoted this lecture, I said, we have something new. We've had a lot of lectures in the past, and they've had incredible times, but for Ben, we decided to do something special. We have a brand new interactive feature called Gamification. And by doing gamification, it will allow us to see which ones of you here are interacting the most, asking Ben questions, asking things in the chat, interacting with the polls, being as interactive as possible. And by doing that, we have a tally that will give you points. And you will accumulate points by doing so many things during the event. And at the end of the lecture, you will have a chance for the person who has the most points at the end, the most interactive person in the entire Zoom, will get to win 2 at the table live lectures of their choice, kindly sponsored by Murphy's. On top of this lecture being free, and on top of you getting a bonus trick taught by Ben at the end of this. So that is a lot, but I wanted to mention it. Super excited. You'll see more. But ladies and gentlemen, Ben, if you turn on your camera, I am so excited to introduce the one and only, the incredible Ben Williams. Let's bring him on. Oh, there he is, and he's back, and he's back, and he's back. There you are. You vanished. How are you, Ben?
I'm very good. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm so excited. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. We've been waiting for this lecture for a month, I think. And I don't know, when I saw and when you told us what you were planning to teach, I was talking to the team and I was like, wow, these guys are going to have a time of their lives right now. I mean, the quality of your magic is outstanding. And no, you really are great. So thank you so much for being here.
No, I appreciate it. It's lovely to be asked. And can I just say, the energy, the tune.
Did you like it?
What an intro. No, I'm really happy to be part of this. It's a real pleasure of mine to be here to share my magic. I love it. So yeah, thank you for having me. Basically, I think that's the first
so much.
isn't it? So yeah.
So Ben, I am curious because we do have over 100 people here right now, which is, by the way, incredible. Out of all the people here, I'm sure so many people do know who you are, but to the 1 or 2 that probably don't, Ben, could you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your history in magic, and how you got to where you are today?
Sure. Obviously, it's customary to give a bit of a backstory, isn't it? So I thought, there you go. That's it.
That is the first time I've ever seen that. Oh my god.
It's a
What? Okay.
rubbish intro, I know, but when I thought of it,
What an intro, guys. Can we get some emojis for this guy? That is incredible.
Oh,
All right, go on. Tell them about your story.
So yeah, so I wow, I've been doing magic for about 25 years now. So I started quite late. I was a late bloomer. I was about 17, 18. And it was actually I'm what we call a child of David Blaine, really. I think he was the major influence. I was the kid that had magic sets as a kid and lost all the important bits. I lost the fourth ball for the cups and balls straight away. Lost all the props, lost all the decent bits that made the tricks work, and so I kind of like never really carried on with it. But when I was sort of 17, 18, I started DJing quite a bit, and I decided that was what I wanted to do as a career. I wanted to be a superstar DJ. And when I saw David Blaine on TV, there were a couple of things that kind of tied in together. My dad was into marketing and he saw David Blaine as well. So he decided to pitch for some business using like magic as a theme. And I saw David Blaine and was like, I need to learn this. I need to learn this stuff. And what kind of happened was I watched the street magic. I was absolutely like, had no idea what was going on. Like he's biting coins, he's levitating, he's doing all this stuff. And then my dad came back from this meeting and he had bought an invisible deck. And so he came up and he was like, here, think of a card. And he spread through the cards and my card that I thought of was face down. And I was just like, what? No, you're doing what Blaine did. And I was like, I knew it was the cards. I knew it was them because my dad's not magic, right? And he had a rising card deck and I think a Svengali deck. And so I'm just like, what? So I was just like, gimme, gimme, gimme. And he used to put the decks of cards in his cigar box, lock them up, and be like, and walk away. And it drove me crazy. And this was back before DVDs. So I had recorded Street Magic on VHS. And I just watched it over and over and over again. And I saw one little thing. So the one thing that I saw was this, this move where I saw the break at the bottom of the cards, and he did the whole push the card forwards there, and then he said, here, put it in the middle, and then it goes in the middle, and it's back on the top, right? And I saw, I couldn't see what was going on, but I saw this weird kind of way that he was holding the cards. So I got a deck of cards, and I put the cards clunkily in my hand, and I just followed along with the moves, and I was like, oh my God, that's how he does it. That's how he does it. And I literally went around pubs and clubs and everything showing this one trick to people. And when I showed my dad, he was a bit like, okay, fair enough, you can have these now. And he got the decks of cards and gave me the trick decks of cards. He told me where the magic shop was, and yeah, it sort of spiraled from there. And it was just a random weird little interaction I had with somebody who happened to be a barman on a cruise ship. And he turned around to me and he said, oh, I used to work on a cruise ship and there was a magician there. He said, you need to get Royal Road to Card Magic for card magic, and you need to get Bobo's Modern Coin Magic for coin magic. They're like the Bibles for magic. You need to go and get them. And that's where it started, really. I went to the magic shop my dad spoke about, and I got those books and just went from there and never looked back, really. And it was probably after a little while. I'll go into this a little bit later because I'm going to talk about a bit about how I transitioned from work into being a professional. But yeah, there was a whole rigmarole that happened that ended up me just flying straight into it and never looking back. Like so.
Wow. No, that's incredible. It's sad that story couldn't fit on your back, but that's such an incredible thing. And you did mention what you guys are going to learn today. You've got some incredible tricks, but Ben, we already hopped on with a small call with Tom and Joseph and Ben. He started telling us about some of his fear that he's going to share today, and I find it so interesting. So I'm really not going to spoil anything because Ben is a really incredible guy, and he's so incredible that he also has a question for you guys. Don't you have a question for them?
I do.
Because per tradition, we always ask our lecturer to give us a random magic-related question. And this is your first chance to win some points, by the way, guys. So the first 3 people to get it correct will get some points automatically. And the way you'll see your points, by the way, is on your username on Zoom. It will automatically rename your username, and it will say the number of points you have. And let's try that out. Ben, would you like to show them your question? Let's bring it up.
Indeed.
So, guys, the first 3 people to get this right. If Ben could do only one trick for the rest of his life, what would Ben do, guys? Which one is it? Is it rings? Vanish? Type in the chat and it will live show the answers. Oh my gosh, we've got no one saying card force, Ben. That's so funny. And no one saying sleight of hand, coin vanish. That's so funny. That's so interesting.
Okay.
What should be card force, guys? All right. Well, I'm sure 3 people have got it because everybody's put an answer somewhere. So let's have a look. Ben, would you like to tell them what it is?
It is F. Sleight of hand coin vanish.
Sleight of hand. And let's see who got it first. Who correctly guessed first? Guy! Oh my god, Guy! Guy, congratulations. You guessed it first, which means right now, Guy, you will have hopefully 30 points, but we will see about that.
You're winning, Guy. You are winning.
You're winning, Guy. You are winning. You are winning.
So
we'll get those 30 points for you. Perfect. So tell them why.
Why? It's so versatile. Do you know, like I started Magic doing just cards. It was just cards, and I really took to cards quite a lot. And after my first professional gig, I got that question: do you only do card tricks? And I was like, oh, okay. And then I very quickly realized, after sort of spreading my wings a little bit, that just when you make something just vanish, like, people go nuts. It's you know, it's instantaneous magic, you know, like, you don't need cards. You could do it with anything. You could do it with a coin, a sugar packet. You could do it, you know, just off the cuff. And I think if you know a couple of really good sleight of hand vanishes, then you can really just have some fun with people. I mean, there's a reason why the old sort of French drop is one of the sort of classic granddad tricks, isn't it? And it just screams magic straight away. So yeah, it's universal. There's nothing else that's needed, and yeah, I think that would be the one thing I would do. You know, there's probably a lot better tricks, but I think
it's just what stands out to you. It's great. That's great. Well, without further ado, Ben, I'm going to put you fully on screen and let you continue. And Guy, you are currently in the leaderboard, so congrats.
Yeah.
Now let's put you on screen. Thank you so much. And Ben Williams.
Woo! So this is obviously, you know, I'm going to use myself as much as possible because of the interaction and everything like that. But every now and then I will call somebody up. But I thought what I would start with is just my opener, because I think it gives me a good chance to explain a bit about my style, why I do magic, the way that I do magic, and the type of sort of magic that I do perform and get paid to perform. So yeah, my opener is essentially a card trick. It's a 3-phase card trick. It can change, but I think what I'll do is I'll go for it and just explain the whole thing. If at any point somebody has a question, there's loads of new messages popping up. I wish I had time to read them all, but
don't worry, we'll monitor. Oh, by the way, I did forget. Yeah, comment questions you guys have, and we will definitely bring them up. We have a team selecting questions for you guys in the background. So anything you have, just put it in chat.
So Alan, I'll tell you what. You just shout "Stop, Alan" anytime you like.
Stop.
Okay, so that would be the card, right? Obviously, it's the 9 of hearts. I can see, obviously, but what I would usually do is I'd have somebody select a card, and I will have them sign it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll show you the routine, and then I will explain everything to do with it, and I'll go into all the nuances of how I perform, because it's not interactive. A lot of what I say wouldn't kind of work right now, but you'll get the idea. I mean, we're all magicians. You'll probably know exactly what I'm doing anyway. But yeah. So I would have the card and they would just say stop and it would go back in. Okay, I'll step back a bit so that you can all see me. Actually, that's probably the best thing to do, isn't it? I go here. All right. So the whole idea is I would ask, do you have a good imagination? And whatever they say, I would just riff off it. And I would then say, here, if you hold out your hand, I will show you a card. And could you imagine that was your card? Could you imagine it is? Okay. It's a bit hard because it's looking right at you. Yeah. But if I turn it face down, now it looks like all the others. So this is the point where I'd say you hold on to it, don't hold on to it. I'd say if you imagine it's your card, it will change. And then I just wait and I pause. And after a while, they're going to be like, do I turn it over? And I say, well, are you imagining your card? They say, yeah. And they turn it over. And of course, it is their signed card. All right. Now, this is all very nice and well, but then I say, hey, I'll tell you what, we'll take it another stage. If I take the card, we'll just pop it in the middle and I will place it down on the table or in their hand and I'll ask them to pop it in and I'll say, how far down do you think that was? They might say about 2/3 of the way down. They go, it's a good illusion, isn't it? They go, what? I say, because it's actually still on the top. Now, at this point, I'm a bit sort of ahead of the game, if you like, and I can sort of say, well, I'll tell you what, third time's a charm. All right, we'll pop it back in the middle. What would you say, left or right? Okay. So Alan, actually, what would you say, left or right, buddy?
Left.
Left. Do you want your left or my left? Because they're kind of opposites.
Your left.
My left, so you're right, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I took my left shoe off, you see down here? If I took my left shoe off, inside my left shoe, I now had a folded card. That'd be weird if it was yours.
It would be weird if it was mine. Oh my god. That's amazing. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we're all magicians here, so we probably all know exactly what's going on here. But I'll explain the whys and some other little bits and bobs that I do when I perform, because I think one of the reasons that I use cards as an opener is because I'm comfortable with them. I don't need to think about anything. My muscle memory is completely locked in with them. I can just interact with people. Because I think it's really important to remember when we're performing, they're not spectators. They are human beings, okay? And I think it's if you don't treat them like human beings and you just approach them like they're spectators and like it's a gig and like you have this weird dynamic between you, then you're going to rub some people up the right way. They're going to be on board with you, and then you're going to get some people that it's going to grind a little bit, and it's going to take a little while for them to warm to you. And you know, I want people to feel at ease straight away. So when I first interact with people, the first thing that I do is I just say hello. I say, so this was actually something which Jay Sankey taught me, and it was like a little 3 kind of thing intro, and it was like, so I go, hey, my name's Ben. I've been asked to show everyone a quick magic trick. It's your turn, kind of thing, and that might change a little bit, but essentially what I'm saying is, my name's Ben. I've been asked to come and show you this, and it's going to be a quick trick. Okay, so it's 3 bits of information very quickly wrapped up in a sentence. And then I say, so, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Ben. And I offer my hand out and I shake everybody's hands and I ask all of their names before I do any magic. And there's 2 reasons for this. One is to be human. And the other reason is because a handshake is like an invisible contract. It says, hey, we're going to be all right with each other for the next few minutes. And somebody has to be a real douchebag if they're not going to shake your hand. And I've never had anyone not shake my hand. So it's a way of breaking that psychological barrier down and going, hey, we're going to accept each other here. So that's my first sort of thing. And then I will say, here, I'll tell you what, I got some cards, and I will say this. I'll go, do you want to shuffle the cards or do you trust me? Okay, it's a nice little opener because you instantly get a bit of banter. You get some people go, oh, I don't trust you, and they grab the cards off you. And then you go, fair enough, and you can have a laugh about that. Some people go, no, it's all right, I trust you. And then I can say, well, I know that's not real trust. That's like a lack of you wanting to shuffle, right? Okay. And you can just riff off it a little bit. but it gives people a nice it gives you an insight into what people you're dealing with and how they're going to interact with you. Okay, so that gives me an edge, and I then get to know how I'm going to deal with these spectators and how difficult they're going to be for me. And I haven't even done a trick yet. So then I reach out and offer them a card. They can grab any card, and then I say, here. They take the card, and then I offer them a pen. I say, I tell you what, can you write your name on the card? And if I hand it to them like this, or they take the card and it's face down, when you hand them a pen, quite often they ask, which side do I sign? And then that gives me a nice little joke. I go, no, sign this side, because if you sign the red side, it makes my job really easy. Okay, and you get a nice little laugh. But they're going to write something, whatever they write, like on the card. Okay. Now, when they're doing this as well, I used to give the old write your pin number as well kind of laugh. And it's a nice joke, but it's kind of I don't know. I kind of feel it's a bit too obvious. So what I actually do is when they sign the card, I go, oh, I'll tell you what, could you write something on the card I can know? All right, like just beneath your name, could you write your mother's maiden name? And just as I go to like compute what I'm asking, I go, and your first pet's name, and the last three on your bank card, and the PIN number and everything. And then it kind of spirals into this joke. So it goes from this serious kind of bit, and the amount of people that start writing information is ridiculous. And then you can have a laugh about, you know, handing over sensitive information. But everything's kind of happened. We've had a nice little interaction, and I'm sort of miles ahead already. So I then say, here, I'll tell you what, I'll drop the card, you say stop. So they say stop, I go, just pop your card back there. And then I slap the cards down, and the next thing I do is I just relax. Okay? I like this is really action pose. So if you go here, stop, and then you do this and you hold your hands together, this is like, I'm about to do something. Like watch, you know, like this is where it's happening. Okay? But as soon as I slap this down, and then I just swing my hands by my side. I'll do this so that you can kind of see. If I move my screen down a little bit, then you'll see easy. Okay, so I'm just nice and relaxed, and everything's kind of loose. My hands are swaying, and this is when I say, I'll tell you what, have you got a good imagination? And of course, asking a question is a great way for misdirection. And at this point, everyone looks at them, and then they have this moment where, you know, again, you get this interaction, which is like, oh, no, rubbish. Or some people go vivid, you know, and you can have a laugh with people at this point. But at this point, that's when I just bring my hands together and I just do a little quick control. Now, I opt for the Herman pass, which is something like this. So the Herman pass is where you hit here, that comes over. It's like a turnover pass, but without the turnover, okay? And so the reason why I do this is because I used to do the classic pass, but then I find I've got this really bad kind of almost telegraphic moment where I feel like I'm about to do it. I'm worried about this corner here flashing. I give it a nice rock, and it's like, why am I doing that? It kind of almost draws too much attention. So what I tend to do now is they have the card put back, and I can get this sort of into a Herman pass really quickly. And it's just like just a moment, and I end up like this, okay? Which is really nice and free and easy. And then I say, this is at the point where I'm saying, have you got a good imagination? I say, I'll tell you what, could you imagine that that is your card? And I used to really worry about my finesse of like double lifts and like, oh, am I going to do like a little, you know, double lift like this? Am I going to do a pushover? Like, what am I going to do? And I don't care about that anymore. I just literally, I flip it up and I hold it off the deck like that. So I just hold the double card there. Okay, so that's their card and another card on top. And I just say, could you imagine that's your card? And it's kind of this timing kind of thing when they're about to answer me, and sometimes they answer quickly and I can interact. But if they don't really answer, then I go, I'll tell you what, I'll make it easier for you. If you hold out your hand, I'll put it face down on your hand, okay? Because now it looks like all the other cards, right? And that gives me a reason for turning the card down, okay? And then I just simply step back and I go, I'll tell you what, if you can imagine it's your card, it will change. And then I just leave that. And I find dropping a statement like that and then being quiet really emphasizes the focus and the moment back on them. And they get this, bear in mind, a spectator has seen the card go in the middle and nothing's happened. Nothing's happened. You've just shown them a card and now you've given that to them, okay? They can't fathom that this is their card. They simply can't fathom it. You've not shuffled the deck. You've not done anything, okay? So the idea that this card on their hand is now theirs just is perplexing, right? And I used to really do more with a double lift and try to like zhuzh it up and maybe do a little transpo, I don't know, but it just doesn't need it. It's so pure, it's so direct, and it always gets an insane reaction. And of course, it's in their hand, right? So I think the more you remove things and the simpler you get, the more direct you can be, and then you can let the kind of magic speak for itself, okay? So this is the point that we're at. They've now reacted, they've gone, whoa, okay, all right? In that misdirection, I'm just gonna turn the top card face up again and have my hand down by my side. I bring it up, I take their card back, and I just pop it with the wrist kill and turn it back. And I go, here, I'll tell you what, we'll try it like this. And I say, well, sometimes, again, I'll go into presentation throughout the lecture, but sometimes I might react to them and say like, oh, we'll try this with you. And sometimes I'll present it like, wow, you're good. Let's see how good you are, really. And then I say, here, there's two ways that I might do it, but this is probably my more preferred method. But I will say, here, I'll tell you what, have you ever seen an optical illusion before? And they're like, what? Okay. And I go, have you ever seen this? It's the where you take a pen and you wiggle it and it looks like it bends. It doesn't look like it's bending on the screen right there, like there's something about the frame rate, but it looks like it bends. Okay, I used to do it in school. And this makes people go, oh yeah, I used to do it in school. Or, no, I've never seen that. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Like I say, it's an optical illusion, right? Like if I take your card, if I put it in the middle, all right, like about there, yeah. We push it, you can push it all the way in, and they push it all the way in. And then I say, how far down do you think that is? And this is just cementing that their card is in the middle and that they believe their card is in the middle. And they'll say, what, 2/3 of the way down or halfway down or whatever? And I say, it's a good illusion, isn't it? Because it's actually still on the top. And now you get this sort of moment. And in that moment, I'm just going to top change. And now I'm got an indifferent card and I go, I'll tell you what, 3rd time's a charm. And I stick it back in the middle, squeeze it back in. Now I'm here, their card's on the top, and I go into my presentation with card and shoe. And I really, really enjoy performing this because it's impossible, it's direct, it's quirky, it's weird, and just people can explain it in a sentence, which is a really nice thing. I think Di Vernon said that the spectators should be able to explain the magic in one sentence, okay? Or else it's too complicated. And literally people will go like the card was just folded in the shoe. I have no idea, okay? And so here, I'm here, I get ready for a Mercury card fold, and I say, I'll tell you what, 3rd time's a charm. What would you say, left or right? Okay, and whatever they say, I say left. Say left, okay. Do you want your left or my left? Now, this, and then say they say their left, I say your left, so my right, right? And you get this bounce around. And if they said right, you go your right, so my left, right? And whatever they say, you can bounce it back at them. It's really quite funny. So you get this nice kind of moment of patter and hilarity. But what it also does is it gives me the time to be able to do the Mercury card fold like under scrutiny. Okay, so I might say, I'll tell you what would you say, left or right? And if I feel like somebody's really watching me, like they're on me like a hawk, then I can say, I'll tell you what, I could take that decision away from you, because I could take that to be your left or my left. So which do you want, your left or my left? And that buys me a bit more time. If somebody's still really looking and I'm still like a bit not sure about this, then I'll go, Tom's got the right idea. He's looking at the cards, he won't look away. And immediately they're going to look away because they'll laugh, and it's awkward. And it's just a natural reaction that they're going to look away if you draw attention to them. So all these things just allow me to buy time just to do the Mercury fold. And if I'm still messed up at that point and still feel like I can't do this Mercury card fold for any reason, very, very rarely happens, but for any reason, I can look down at my shoes, and that's when I can do it. I can go down and do the card fold as I look at my shoes. Okay. So they say right. Okay, do you want your right or my right? They say my right, your right, so my left, right? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm at this point. I've done the Mercury card fold, and I'll give you a couple of hints, or not hints, but tips of how I do it. And I just turn it around so I have it in a nice finger palm. Okay, and I'm just open. I'm here, very free, and I go my left. And that's when I look down and I go, so if I took my left shoe off, and in this, I take the cards out of my hand, but I retain that folded card in palm. And I go, so if I took my left shoe off, and that's when I kick. Yeah, I'll show you. So I kick my shoe off. And then I'm going to reach down with the card in palm, simply drop it in my shoe as I spin the shoe around. Now that folded card is right up tip of my shoe. Okay, and you can do this thing where you can hold the shoe to delay the card falling. Okay, and then you can just say here. So if I took off my left shoe, and in my left shoe there was a folded card, and you get this sort of moment where it reacts. And then I put the cards away, my hand is completely open, and I just go in, I take the card out. Really slow, everything is super slow at this moment. And sometimes I might even look at the bottom of my shoe and just be like, that'd be weird if it was yours, right? I say, well, it can't be theirs. It certainly couldn't have their signature. Mike! And then you get the whole reaction at the end, okay? And this is, what this is it's the three-phase thing. It builds. The double lift at the beginning is in their hands. The whole intro of that double lift and everything. Thank you, Carl. and cheers, Jim. Thank you. I'll go into a few credits for this in a moment, but I think the whole reason why I do this three-phase kind of routine is because it's in their hand. It gives me a lot of interaction with them, and the double lift is instantaneous. It's quick. You find their card instantly. It's no faff around. A lot of people just don't have the patience. They're like, oh, come on, get to the point. And the last thing I want to do is introduce myself and bore someone. The first thing, I don't want them feeling like that. I want them to be like, okay, where's this going? Oh, what? How? Hang on, and catch them off guard a bit. So the double lift does that. The ambitious card one phase is just nice. It's a nice impossible moment. And then, of course, you get this nice impossible location at the end where it's somehow in your shoe. So, yeah, I will. Oh, Kieran is asking, can I run through the Mercury card fold? Oh, he's never heard of it. Okay, so the Mercury card fold is a way to fold a playing card secretly. And it looks like this. Okay, and you have folded a card underneath the deck. And the way it works is you're going to place your thumb, you're going to hold the cards in kind of like a fiddle grip, but your thumb is deep. Okay? Your thumb is deep and in the middle. Okay? And then you're going to pull down with your finger. You're going to pull, let me get this on camera. You're going to pull that card down. It's going to bend in half. And then you're going to get this moment where it's on your thumb. And you can then bend it around your thumb and then go underneath the deck. And then you can continue the folds and you can squeeze it down tighter underneath the cards. Okay? So once again, it's here. You go back, folds, fold again, and then you're here. Okay. Thank you, Kieran. All right. Now, you will find some people go, oh, Mercury card fold, I can't do that. No, I can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. I've never made it work. I've never had it work. And part of the reason why that is because of the way that you're holding the cards. Okay. If I were to do this, I'll show it like this. Okay. So when I see people that, because I've done a lot of, I worked for 10 years in a magic shop. I've tutored loads of people. Some of these people have actually become professional magicians. And the one thing that I see in common is a Mercury card fold that ends up looking, I mean, that was something like that, or even this. They're like, I just can't get it. It just doesn't work. Okay. Now, if you analyze what's going on here, it's the first fold that's gone horribly wrong. Okay. You want that first fold to be as good as you can, and then it doesn't matter. It's really hard. Once you got that first fold good, it's really hard to do it that bad. Okay. It's almost impossible to do it that bad. You might have it like this, okay, which is fine. You might have it like this, if your thumb's not placed right, which again is fine, okay? Or it could be like that, you know, and that's like the worst it's going to be, okay? And the reason why is this first fold is like bang on. So you just need to get this. Don't panic it. Don't rush it. Move your hand back straight and make sure that you get this nice connection on that first fold, and then the rest will kind of work out okay, right? So there you go. That is the Mercury card fold. Is there any particular questions on that or anything? That all seems to be good.
No, we're checking the chat and everything seems to be good. A lot of people are asking questions for the very end about random things, so we'll keep that till the end. But okay. Any questions, just write them in the chat now. We'll wait a second. But that's so cool. That's so cool. We just got a Mercury card. Oh my god! Wait! The Lord Harry! Oh my god! I don't have a way to put them on screen, but wait, I do. Wait, here you go. Where is it? Where are they? There. You got tens. You got 10, 10, 10, 10. This is crazy. All right. Anyways.
So, should we move on? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Sorry, it's a little bit glitchy here. So yeah. If I do say thumbs up, if you could do a thumbs up so that I can see you on the screens, that would be really helpful. I'll just carry on. Perfect. Thank you, Paul. All right. So there. Let's do another trick. So I'm going to run through a few different bits and bobs. There's stuff which is cards. This is one of my weirder kind of ones. I like doing this, and this is, you can take a few things from this and do whatever you like. Okay, but and also bear in mind I'm going to use a few different forces and bits and bobs, but in performance I might not use all these different types of forces, but I'll explain it as we go. But I've written down a whole load of drinks. Okay, Sambuca, Bailey's, Sprite, water, tea, tomato juice, Pepsi, gin, lager. You get the idea. Yeah? So I would usually just say here, just say stop anywhere. They say stop, and then you just have them choose a drink. All right. I'm not going to look at it. Hang on, I know it's like that, isn't it? But yeah, they would place this, and then I'd have it chucked back in the cards. All right, and then I'd say here. All right, so this is we're going to do a little bit of a mind reading thing. Is this something that you can you've drunk before? And I would interact with people, and okay, so all right, as I get the feeling that this maybe is a drink that you would get out and about, maybe in a pub or a bar or something like that. I might ask a few different questions. I'm not really a mind reader, so I don't have a real mentalism approach to this. I kind of like look at people and I go, all right, all right, I think I've got an idea about this. And then I would say, hey, just so happens that I've got a little bag there. And then I would say, for the first time, what is the drink that you chose? And they would, of course, say ginger beer. Next one out. Sorry, ginger beer. I got the beer. I got the beer. I got the beer bit. Oh wait, hang on. Hang on. There's something else. Something else in the bag. There's a bit of ginger! Yay! And you get this nice little moment, all right? Now, then I'll go here. I'll tell you what, let's try this. We'll try this. We'll do this like this. So there's a few different ways that I'll do this, but this is quite a nice sort of universal way. We get a silk, bunch it all up. You can tell I don't use this very often. But here. And then I'm just going to place the ginger in the silk. 3, 2, 1. And it vanishes. It's magic. Yay. It's got to go somewhere, hasn't it? And that's when I look back at the beer. And now, if I take a lighter, something, I can actually pop the beer and show that inside the beer, it genuinely is ginger beer. Yay! And this is just a nice little kind of routine. You get yourself a drink. So this is a little something that I'll do in a show. It's just a nice little fun thing. But then I'd say, here, I'll tell you what. Let's take it a step further, shall we? Yeah. And I would have the spectator hold the bottle. They can inspect the bottle. They can look inside the bottle. Because I'm going to do the card to bottle. So I get them to hold the bottle like this. All right. Okay. Thank you. So they're holding the bottle like this, and then I'm going to say, here, I'll tell you what. If you would, you can just say stop anywhere you like. They say stop, and of course I say here by the 4, next to the 4. Are you happy there? Do you want to go further? They go further. I go here. What next to the 5? Are you happy there? They say yeah. I go here. I tell you what. Have a look. Doesn't matter what the card is. All right. Now we've got the King of Clubs. Now this is when I would then have them sign the card. Okay. So they come along. And I can get them to then sign their name on the card. All right. So you take the card, and then I'm just going to take the card and tear a piece off. Okay. Now, if I take this piece, I can just hold it up in here. All right. And then I can get the lighter. Bear in mind, they're holding the bottle. Let's put that just there. And then I can take the piece, light it. I saw that. You're scared you bottle it. Now, they're holding the bottle like this. Okay. All right. And you can say, see here. Have a look. If that piece is now inside the bottle, that'd be insane, right? That'd be like you've been holding it the whole time. And then they can look inside the bottle themselves. And they're not going to find anything. All right. And you get this awkward moment. All right. But that's the moment when you go, oh, God, did I get it stuck? Have a look. Because underneath the label, here, actually, if I were to take the label, I can actually just start to scratch and rip that label off. And underneath it, if you I've stuck it down too hard. But here, you get underneath the label, they can pull it off themselves if they wanted to. You see where this is going though. Here, hang on. Let me do this because I can be more prepared here. I'll actually tell you a little tip which I didn't do here quite obviously, but here you get underneath the label. There is a piece of card, and they'll feel this. They can see it. I don't know if you can see it on there, but here, stuck underneath the label is a piece of card, and it is, of course, a piece of a king. They can then take their signed card, the one that they signed, they can take the piece, they can match it, and it, of course, is a perfect match because it is the piece from their signed card. So, thank you. Mark W. How the hell? So, yeah. Like, is that, did everyone see that all good? Wow, there's 82.
I think the comments are letting you know that they saw it pretty well.
Okay, cool. All right.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna have to speed up, aren't I? Just thinking about it. Okay, so this is one of my. I love doing this trick, and this is how I do it for parlor. If I was doing a parlor performance, or if I was doing, say, a stand-up performance for a wedding or something like that. Okay, if I was just, I do this in walk around, but if I do it in walk around, I don't do the ginger beer in the bottle. Okay, I love the ginger beer in the bottle. It's got that kind of, you know, that kind of magic kind of thing, isn't it? Like, you know, it's as effective as having orange juice in a can of Coke, but it's a lot simpler to do. Okay. Budweiser's, just so you know, have a twist cap in the UK, which makes it a lot easier to do if you want to just pop the cap back on and just tighten it up a bit. Okay, that's not airtight properly, but if you want to reseal any bottle, where is it? It's massive, it's red, it's here. You can get these gimmicks. Okay, if you go on Amazon and put like a bottle resealer or something, this is for people that make homebrew sort of lager, and the thing just goes on. It goes on top. You pull the arms down, and it just crunches that lid back on top and gives it a nice airtight seal. Okay, so essentially you can fill that with any liquid you like, but bear in mind I use a Budweiser because it's a dark brown bottle, so you can't see through it as much. So do play around with different types of liquids, and because some will be more apparent than others. Okay, but yeah, Coca-Cola works quite well because it's dark. You don't really notice it. But yeah, so that is the setup for the drink inside the bottle. Who's that? Somebody's just said, have I ever done this in a pub with a setup with a bar staff before? Oh no, I haven't. But that would be bloody good. I've done it at house parties where I know what drinks that they've got, and then I can do it and leave it in like the cool box or in the ice box or something. But yeah, no, I've never actually got a pub sort of bar staff in on it either. So yeah, so that is that's the liquid. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. The label. So this is something I first came up with. Oh man, I love the card through window. Okay, but trying to do it gigging, it's a nightmare. I've had it a couple of times where I've set a card up and people have seen it before I've done the trick, and that's annoying. And I don't really do. I work alone, so I never have anyone to kind of do it for me. But I love it. Okay, and so I started to do just a card corner through the window because it was easier to hide. And one of my first ever releases was called Terrible Sessions. And it was 3 different tricks with a folded card. And this is one of the tricks. I think I called it Terrific or something. So this is the setup. So I have got a duplicate card to force on the top of the deck. And then on the bottom of the deck, I have the other duplicate card, but it's already missing the corner. Okay, so that goes here. Now, and also, I've just for completeness, turned a few cards up here like this. All right, so now I can go down, I can do a backslip force or a riffle force, whatever I want. I quite like the backslip force, and I always have, because I like this. Is this where you want to stop? Do you want to carry on? And it just gives them this moment where they could change their mind. And I do this, and I see a lot of people do this. They go or something. It's like, or they go, well, you don't want this one here, so let's have this one here. And it's like, well, what's going on there? Okay. I kind of always create magic with the feeling of like, this is how you would do it in normal real life. So I go here, full stop. And if they really were going to have this card, I'd simply offer it out to them. So I try and emulate that. So instead of this hand going up, I pull this hand down and offer it out, okay? And then I get the force. So this is there. I turn it face up on the deck. Now, as I go to find my pen, I'm just going to turn the deck over in my hand, okay? And then I have this kind of moment where I can then offer the card out to be signed. Now, obviously, I'm signing it here on my own, so it's a bit easier for me to do that. But all you need to do is just hold the cards like this, and then just say, here, I'll tell you what, if you just pop your signature just around here, or maybe on the white line just there so that everyone can see it, okay? And now I'm just going to keep my finger here. You get this illusion where you can't see it here. This is your only bit which is going to give you any grief. So I just keep my finger there. And by kind of holding it like this, I'm acting like I'm helping them, like hold it like a table, when really I'm just doing what I need to do, okay? Now all I need to do is just grab this, cover the corner, just lift up and the cards go away, all right? And now you're in that angle Z kind of fake tear, where you've got a signed card, the piece disappears and it can go any way you like. Now I do like the pretending to wrap it in flash paper. You just get a bit of flash paper and you just pretend that you've got it, and then you just fold it up, and then you can light it. Okay, boom. And then you can throw it towards a bottle or whatever you want. I suppose the only other thing that I need to tell you about this is how to get the card underneath the label. And the simple way is you just get your kettle, put some water in it, set it to boil, but take the lid off the kettle. So it goes on like a constant repeat boil. And then as it's boiling, the steam will come up. You hold this over the steam, just wait, I don't know, 30 seconds, keep turning it. This will get soaking wet. It will get soaking wet. This will get really hot. And then you can just peel back the label. Now, this is what I did. Sometimes I set these up and I don't stick it back down. I might not have the card, or for whatever reason, I don't stick it down straight away. And what I'll do is I'll just put a bit of glue, like Pritt Stick glue, like a glue stick around the edge, and I'll leave this whole bit around the middle without glue, okay? What actually I did here was, if you get the card on the bottle straight away, then you can just stick the label down and the glue will re-stick, because it's still wet, okay? And it's still hot, so the label will just stick back down. But bear in mind, if you do that, you do then have this really tight, stuck kind of thing. So it'd probably be best if I do this at a gig, you usually have like a knife or something that I can just scratch away at the label quite quickly, and then I can use a knife just to get into that label really quickly. But the fact is, they're holding it, they feel it, they see it, they know it's under there. Because you can, when you pay attention, you can actually see the card, okay? And that's when the magic really happens. And then you just get that out as quick as you can. They, of course, have their signed card, and the piece matches perfectly because it is actually the piece from this card, right? That makes sense? Yeah? Thumbs up? Woo! Okay. Now, I'm really aware of how what's the time? What time have we got at the moment?
We're doing fine-ish. It's okay.
I need to hurry up, don't I?
a little bit, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
And there was a question I saw that was actually interesting.
Okay.
Let's see where it was now. Someone never seen black flash paper, and then this Brew had a nice question about: have you ever experimented with using thin cards so the outline of the card can be noticed just in case?
Nobody ever notices it. Nobody ever, like, who's like, honestly, I even try and make it a bit more apparent. On a Budweiser bottle, you've got this white section here, and I actually deliberately put it behind the white section to make it more apparent. Nobody ever sees it. Nobody ever thinks about it. I've done it so many times, and it's never occurred to people. I think there's so much going on when you're performing anyway that people can't, like, they don't know where it's going, and you're telling them it's going to appear inside the bottle, and they can look inside the bottle, and you can't see anything. And so they're like, okay, and then they think they know where it's going, so they're going to hold on tight. They're not even going to pay attention. So I mean, by all means, if it makes you feel more comfortable, you could try that, but then you're just going to have to perform with a similar deck to those thin cards.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah, yeah.
I think
Perfect, perfect.
I think
Perfect. That's the only question we've seen. Otherwise, I think we're good. I think we can move on. Are you guys having a good time? This is
cool.
super exciting. This
I do.
that trick really wow. Okay.
I've got.
I don't know.
I've,
I'm sitting here and having the best time ever, and I'm looking at the comments and people are just constantly spamming with how incredible this is, and this is what we want to see. And a lot of people, by the way, for your engagement, you have got a lot of points already just by commenting. I've been giving you guys in
very
the background.
good. Very
So
good. Very
keep
good.
it up. The leaderboard's increasing. Anyways, back
All right.
to you, Ben.
Okay. So can you
Ooh, what is okay?
hear that? I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a sugar packet. And I would give this to a spectator, or I would have them just, maybe I'll just stick it in the glass. Yeah. All right. So it's just in the glass. Okay. And then I would say, hey, let's try this. Are you just so that you can see my face and the sugar packet at all times? So I'm quite a film person. You know, I love loads of different genres of films, but obviously some of the most big blockbusters recently have been the Marvel films. Okay, and there is a moment in one of the Marvel films that's incredibly iconic. There's a character called Thanos. Okay, and he has this thing where he snaps his fingers, and literally half of the population of the universe turn to dust. Okay, now what I was thinking, this got me thinking. Okay, what if I could take the coin? Okay, if I could actually do this, if I could take the coin and like a magic wand, we go here, snap, and that coin, literally, well, it doesn't turn to dust. It turns to sugar. And I have just made an insane mess in my studio. But I probably should have moved my keyboard before I dropped all that sugar. But yeah, you end up with no coin, loads of sugar, and that just begs the question of where did that coin go? Now, of course, spectator can then open up their hand. They can rip open the sugar packet themselves, and inside the sugar packet is now the coin. And it's a nice little transpo. I'm kind of trying to speed up because I know how much time I've taken so far already, and I got loads to show. But yeah, this is a little gimmick that I use called Thanos, and it was sorry if you bear with me 2 moments. I'm just clearing some of this sugar away because I've made an insane mess.
This is so cool.
Like
Oh,
just,
that's a lot. Oh my god.
I dropped it all over my keyboard. So
Oh
yeah.
no, you're gonna have to vacuum that keyboard now.
Oh man. But yeah. So this was literally a trick that was I released a effect on one of my Gimmick It Yourself projects. I think it's Gimmick It Yourself 2 called Utilight. And what it was using a lighter as a way to actually make a coin. If you could light the lighter, make the coin just vanish. Okay, and the way that works is I just have a bit of sticky tack on the lighter. Okay, and all it is I'm here and I tap the coin a couple of times, and then I just tap and it picks up the coin. Okay, but you end up really kind of like free. You can be really fair with this. There's a couple of ways that you can gesture with the coin to kind of hide it, like this. Okay, and then you of course light the lighter, and you get a really clean coin vanish. And so yeah, I've used that gimmick for quite a while, and I mainly use it for coin and sugar packet. And it was just like a little vanish, and the coin ended up inside the sugar packet. And as I was playing around, I started to, I was playing around with trying to come up with more practical ways to do card through window, because I genuinely like this is such a strong effect doing card through window. So I was just like, right. And I started playing around with the idea of what could I have through the window that people could see, but then I could still do some sort of transposition. And what I came up with was this thing where I would take a sugar packet. Now, I don't know if you can hear that, but you can definitely hear the sugar in the packet. And what's really happening is I have a sugar packet here that's loaded, that has nothing in it, but I have in my hand a sugar packet that does have sugar in it. So it's that whole matchbox thing where you got a matchbox tied to your wrist. So I just shake it, they hear the sugar, and my idea was here, if I then stick the sugar packet to the glass window, then I can do a little transposition, okay? And the whole idea was, that was where this kind of came from. And it was through playing around with the Utilite idea with the sticky that I realized that you could actually, what did I do? Did I drop my pen? I literally dropped all that sugar and then, here. So what I did was I played around with taking a pen and hollowing it out. So the pen is hollow, and you can just take a sugar packet, rip it open, pour the sugar into the pen, and then I have like these test tubes. On the bottom of the pen is some sticky, so that can stick to stuff. This, oh, by the way, this is the same stuff, the same sticky stuff that is on the double cross gimmicks. It's called black tack, okay? If you search black tack on Amazon, you should get it. Probably costs about, I don't know, where do I have the actual black tack stuff here? Costs about, I don't know, £8 or something like that. And you get a whole load of the stuff, okay? And yeah, and so I stick a bit on there and I have the pen hollowed out and it's got sugar in it. Now, because this can sit inside that can go inside my pocket, okay? And I'm set to kind of go whenever I like. Then what I do is I then have to load a sugar packet. So there's a couple of ways to do this. It depends on whether you want sugar in the sugar packet as well, or whether you don't. But if you don't, then you can take a sugar packet and cut one side of it out, okay? If I turn that so you can see it. So I cut one side of it out, and you could take another one, do the same thing here like this, and then stick both of them together. So you end up with like a douche, douche, and then you just put whatever you want in between, okay? And then seal it back up. That works if you just want a coin or you just want a card inside the sugar packet, okay? So because that's where I first started playing around with this, that one's actually got a card fully inside of it, okay? So you could do that if you want, but if you want sugar in with the coin, it doesn't work because the sugar just stops the two pieces sticking together. So if you want like a coin vanish where the coin ends up inside the sugar packet with the sugar, because that's quite nice. When you just do a simple coin vanish, it vanishes, and then you say, here, look inside your hand. They can then feel the coin inside the sugar packet, and then they can tear it open and pour out the sugar, and the coin comes out as well. And the way that you do that would be to, I'm going to make a mess again, aren't I? Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I will just pull this up so that I can drop any sugar on this bag instead. But yeah, what you're gonna do is you are simply going to take like a Stanley blade or something. I usually shake the sugar down to the end, and I'll do it like this so that you can all see. But I just put the blade in across the top, and I just go down and cut like a little pocket. So now all that sugar is in there, but now I can put something in it. So I could put a coin inside there as well. All right. Okay. Now all you're going to do is, this is when you get your other piece and you cut. You see, I've cut that pouch off. So it's essentially the same as this, but you just go all the way around. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to stick those two together. Okay, so you will have 3 layers of paper, 1, 2, 3, okay, and the coin inside with the sugar, okay, and you just stick all of that down and then trim any edges off if you like, and then you got a coin inside the sugar packet with the sugar, okay. That makes sense? Yeah, cool. So yeah, it depends on which one you want to do, whether you want just, if you're going to do something like Thanos, where you have the hollow pen. What's happening here, by the way, is I have the coin and I've got the pen. I take the pen out of my pocket and I talk about Thanos and Marvel, and at some point I just tap, that picks it up, and I come away. It's really casual. I'm not doing anything, and I haven't even started the trick really yet. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the pen upside down into my hand. That's now filling my hand with sugar. And this is when I can draw attention to them and talk about Thanos. Now, if I want, I can actually, like with the coin in my hand, I can still snap my fingers. And the only thing that you want to do, which I didn't do too carefully here, is when you lift it up, you do want to do it slowly, okay? You don't want to do this because you're going to fling sugar everywhere, all right? So you just turn it up slowly, and then you say, see that moment when they snap their fingers, that coin simply turns to dust, okay? And then, of course, they look inside their hand, and they fill the sugar packet, and now the coin's inside the sugar packet. So yeah. That is Thanos, essentially.
Once again, I have never seen this many positive. I mean, there's a lot of positive comments always, but like your lecture is just causing fire. These are such visual, unique tricks. I think your approach to magic is very, very unique. It's incredible. Anything you wanted to add? I might have interrupted you.
I've made such a mess of it. So yeah, usually I'm at a gig and I will do this. I do coin and sugar mainly at tables, okay? And I do it at tables mainly because of this reason here. I can actually drop the coin. If I'm pouring the sugar out, I can have a plate or a cup or something that I pour the sugar onto. And especially if you've got like a sugar packet and a plate and you're dumping it out with a coin, you get this ding, 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 ding with the coin kind of thing. And it's really nice. Okay. But obviously it helps with the mess. There is, I was going to show, there's 2, I did tell you about the whole sound, the sound illusion. So that's where you have one loaded and the other one hidden behind your hand and you shake it. If you do that by someone's ear, they hear it, and then you give them the sugar packet, then that's fine. You don't need to switch it then. But if you give me 2 seconds, I'll get rid of the sugar. But if you want to have this inspected, I think it's quite powerful to have it inspected. And all you're going to do is just give them a sugar packet, and then they're going to check it out. And then you're going to go, here, I'll tell you what, I've got here a pen, and you just do a little crossing the gaze switch or a little shuttle pass switch, and now you switched in the one that's loaded, okay? And the technique on this is like, see, when you're switching stuff, my only tip to you is don't make it a switch. Don't even think about switching. I love Quantamariz crossing the gaze because you can be empty-handed. You're like this. So the crossing the gaze is this, essentially. You're going to do a switch, but it's going to be under the misdirection of looking for something. So say I've got a lighter in my pocket, right? Then I go here, I've got the sugar packet. Now I do have and then you're kind of like looking up in the air, like you're thinking and you're feeling in your pocket. And then your head turns down here as you realize it's not in this pocket. You go, oh, hang on. And that's when you come out, you've got the palmed piece here. And then you just do this little switch. And then you instantly go down here, okay? And that's when you get the lighter out and you leave the other thing in there, okay? So at full speed, it's kind of like this. You take it back and you go, here, I'll tell you what, I've got, oh wait, I did have a lighter here somewhere. I even just flummoxed that up and hit my jacket, but it doesn't matter because there's so much misdirection, okay? And now you switched in you're still empty-handed. You switched in the one that has the coin or the card in, and then you could say, "Here, I'll tell you what. You hold on to that. You put it in your hand." Okay, and that's when you can go into the forcing the card moment or the introducing the coin and making the coin vanish. Okay. So, is there any particular questions like this about
Yes,
this?
there are free questions. I know there were so many questions because the moment I wrote that you can get points by getting questions, people ask. But we have three really good questions, and the first one is: could you do the same with a signed coin? Alan asks. Nice name, by the
Right.
way.
It's possible. It's possible to do with a sign coin if you have this set up with this pocket and you have everything glued together and you have a bit of rubber cement on the top on both sides.
Yeah.
Then you would need to make some sort of makeshift chute or something. So you'd need to do something like this, have a little chute made out of cards, maybe put some tape down one end,
Yeah.
and then that goes inside the sugar packet, and then you can load the coin in through that. Personally, I don't think it needs to.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think the cleanliness of the Vanish and the fact, I think it's just bizarre. It's a coin in a sugar packet, which is bizarre. And I think we as magicians feel that these things need to be proven to try to make the magic live on with people. But honestly, I don't think people will walk away. They're going to think that you got the coin into the sugar packet the same way, whether it's signed or not.
Yeah.
I think whether it's signed or not doesn't give them an edge or no edge of working out how the trick works. I think even maybe sometimes a signed one, they go, well, I know it definitely had to get in there at some point.
No need to run when you're not being chased.
Exactly, Carl. Yeah.
Perfect.
And I think something like card and shoe is good, but you know, it's nice to have it signed. But something like that is bizarre. It's weird. It's so yeah. I don't think it needs to be.
Perfect. We have two more questions, and I'm just saying there's been like 100 questions, guys. I'm just choosing the ones that might be interesting. A lot of questions that are asked are like, could you repeat this and that? I'm skipping those because you will get a recording, guys, tomorrow morning, and you'll see it there. So remember that it'll be recorded. But the next question is, how many would you set up to take to a gig? Mark asks.
Maybe 6, something like that. I will have a few different things of each. So I might have, say, 3 to 6 coins and sugar packets, and then I'll have some cards and condoms. I'll have some other weird stuff, and so I can give people a few different kinds of things if you like. Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably make up about 6, but I sometimes I make up a whole batch of them, and they just sit in my case, and I can take them out and use them as is. So
perfect. And last question for this one is, and again, by the way, if you guys do think we missed your questions, our team is choosing questions for the end. We're queuing them up, so it's all good. But Levi is asking, lastly, was there a magnet adhered to the lighter?
No, the lighter had the black sticky stuff on it.
Yes.
So I mean, you can use white tack as well. Black tack is
I think a few people were commenting too about the pen color associating with the color of the tack, right? Yeah. So if like you the blue pen, you might have blue tack or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I found that these pens that I used,
were they just easy to hollow out?
Yeah, well, it was a nice size pen. It had a nice, you know, it had a nice kind of area to load from, because I thought at first I could just take a Sharpie and drill a small hole in. But in doing that, the sugar just doesn't come out. You need quite a big opening. So I searched around, and I actually used these. I just searched permanent black markers on Amazon, and this came up with a pack of 24 of them, a lot cheaper than Sharpies. They dry quick as a Sharpie. They write really nicely, and so I actually have a ton of these that I use and I gig with them. So yeah,
absolutely brilliant. All right. So that's a good question for later. All right, Ben, I think we can move on. But just quickly, I know someone asked, "Oh, I want to win some more points." So let's get do it. Do you want to do one more question about you? Ben prepared another question about him. So
Yeah.
get your fingers ready because the first person to get it right will get 20 points, and you get 5 points per question. So it'll really put you in the leaderboard. All right, let's try then, Ben. Let's try. And the question that Ben has is, what is Ben's favorite magic book? Oh my gosh, what is it? Is it Psychological Subtleties, Art of Astonishment, The Trick Brain, Mnemonic, 52 Wonders, Strong Magic Book of Wonders? Lots of wonders.
Oh, sorry. 52 Wonders was supposed to be. I don't know where 52 Wonders came from. Did I?
No, I don't know.
It's not. It's not F. If you put F, put
It's not F. Too late. 9%. All right, let's show them the answer. Let's see who got it. All right, it was Art of Astonishment.
Well, there's Art of Astonishment. I mean,
the Art of Astonishment. And the first person who's gonna get 20 points right now is Matthew Tallman. Congratulations, Matthew. You guys have 20 points. All right, and Ben, you can now continue.
nice. All right, so I'm going to start blazing through really quickly because I'm looking at the time. I've done loads and haven't, yeah, like there's loads to still do. All right, so Alon, just quickly, could you give me any number in between 0 and 100?
24.
24. All right. Not like, I don't know if you know, I've got a list on my phone. There is, where is the thing?
24.
First one is 100 pretty shite gifts. Okay, I don't know if you can see. It's 100
I like gifts.
shite gifts. So there's a whole load of pretty shite gifts that you could get. Now I'll read out because I don't know if this is picking up, but you could have had like HP sauce. You could have had a ping pong ball. You could have had a sweet and low or a cheese sandwich or a running shoe. You said 24, and you get a tiny condom. Yay! And it just so happens, Alon,
What?
on my phone, I have a tiny condom.
Wow, that is special.
It is, but it's pretty shy, isn't it? It's a pretty shy gift because I'm sure you probably want a regular one. In fact,
Yes.
let's be honest, you probably actually want a king size. The way, basically.
Don't drink whilst watching magic, guys. That's the number.
I would you. You could have this as a little gift.
All right, but next time I'm in the UK. Thank you.
You'd hold on
Ben
to it.
Williams, everybody.
Hey, let's go. See you later.
Yeah, I'm moving myself out now.
We'll do a proper trick. We'll do a proper trick. Okay. So this is when I would say to somebody here, just say stop anytime you like. They say stop, and then that would be their card. All right. And then I'll say, here, I'm about to do magic. Are you ready? I'm about to do magic. See, I just did magic. Now I know it doesn't look like much, but if we go through, you just got to shout when you see your card. If I go through all the cards, this is a weird moment because your card seems to have vanished. Now, hang on. Yeah, it genuinely has gone. Do you know why? It's because I did magic. It's got to go somewhere, right? And this is when I would direct you to check your pocket. This is when you would go into your pocket and you'd reach in and you go like, oh, no. And then I would go, here, did I get it stuck? And that's when I'd say, here, touch it, feel it. And they can touch it, they can feel it, and they can open up the condom themselves. And inside the condom, of course, is now a folded card. And it is, of course, your card. I'm sure it comes out. You actually not far off. I've done that before, Kyle. I have done that before. But yeah, this is my card and condom. I love doing this. It's going to be my next release. So I can't go into how I do everything because I literally make these myself out of real condoms. They are completely examinable, and yeah, it's a super fun trick to do. I actually am calling it fuck. Excuse my language. Because not because it's a condom related trick, not because of that for any reason, it's because that genuinely is what people say when you perform this. I've had loads. I never thought I would be one to do a condom trick. I've been with my wife now 27 years. 27 years. Wow. And yeah, so I've been with my wife before I could even hold a deck of cards. So I've never used magic to pick up a girl or to meet anyone or flirt or do anything like that. So the whole idea for using condoms and magic was a bit like, oh no, I wouldn't want to do that. But the French twins brought out magics, and that was a card to condom change, and I started playing around with that, and because I thought, do you know what it was? I then went, do you know, I could actually do this, and it doesn't. I perform it, but I don't do it sleazy. So first of all, I did it to blokes, and it was like, here, you choose a card, they choose a card, and I would have a prediction in my top pocket, and I'd say, if this card matched your card, that'd be a good trick, right? And I go, whatever card you're thinking of, this card will turn into. So if you're thinking of the ace of hearts, it'll turn into the ace of hearts. If you're thinking of the seven of clubs, it'll turn into the seven of clubs. Whatever you're thinking of, it will turn into. And that's when I shook the card, it turned into a condom. And then I gave this whole, oh, what are you thinking of? Kind of fun thing. And it's just a bit of comedy. And then you switch and you give them the card and the condom. And for a long time, I kind of performed that. And then I was like, do you know, there were two things with the release I didn't quite like. One was that it was a gimmick condom packet that says magics. I never liked that. And so it wasn't a real condom. And secondly, the cards inside, for me, were all the same force card, and they weren't even real bicycle cards. And so I kind of loathed the whole buying lots of refills for it. But that only inspired me to try to play around with putting things inside condoms. And I've not kind of looked back from then since. I've got a ton of work. Somebody mentioned like having sugar, and I have done sugar transpositions and things like that, where a sugar packet turns into a condom. Because if you do, you know, you can have this kind of thing, where you could do the whole condom intro, which is a bit funny, it's a bit silly, and then you could say, here, we'll do a better trick, we'll do a sweet little trick, and then you can rub it. Oh wait, hang on, and then you've got the condom, and they then find the sugar packet is now inside the condom instead. But I'm digressing a bit. The way I structured this is I wanted it to be a real comedy kind of thing. And so the way I perform it is I start off with I say, hey, do you like name any card? Name any card you like. And they will go the six of clubs. Or no, they say this, the two of hearts. You go the two of hearts. Okay. And this is when I open up my hand. I go, can I just reach inside? And I reach inside their pocket and I just pull out the condom. And it's this momentary kind of like, it's hilarity. It shocks people to the core. It's just funny. Like, it's just this really strong kind of moment. And then I can go like, wait, hang on, because you can get any kinds of reactions. But what I want to do now is the person that I've taken this out of, I don't want them feeling people are laughing at them. So I want to get on their good side straight away. So I go, look, I know it's not theirs. It's not theirs. It's regular. I know it's not theirs because we all know that they're king size. And that's when I do the shape change and it changes to king size. You get this huge laugh at that point. They feel great. They're like, yeah, of course. And then I can do the switch. I've got the one with the card in my pocket, and then I can do a little switch just at that moment there. And I then play it on. I go, here, I'll tell you what, you can keep that as a little souvenir. I pop it in their pocket. I don't give it to them to then say, put it in your pocket. I literally shove it in their pocket because I want to do that and move on really quickly. And I go, here, we'll do a proper trick. We'll do a proper trick here. And that's when I would take the the cards, and I will just force them the card that's inside the condom. All right, so I forced the 6. Now I actually had a duplicate 6 in here because this is a mismade kind of deck, but yeah, what I would usually do is control it to the top, okay? And yes, Darren, building to a climax. But yeah, once I've controlled it to the top, I can hold a break above the 2 cards, and then I can spread through, and I can say, look, because your card has really gone. Now, you don't need to do this, but I find this moment is quite nice because it is here. And I say, do you know why it's gone? And they're like, no. I go, because I did magic. And it's just my style. I like being silly. I like being comedic, if you like. And then I go, after I say that, I then go, it's now in your pocket. And I say that quite seriously. And then that gives this whole like, moment. They look down, they go into their pocket, and 9 times out of 10, they'll pull this out and think the card is still in their pocket. Okay. And they'll go and they'll fish around, they won't be able to find it. And that's when I go, here, did I get it sucked? Touch it, feel it. And then you go, it doesn't feel like what should be in there anymore, does it? And they're like, oh my God. And this moment, that's the moment when the expletives come out. That's the moment where the F-bombs are dropped, you know, and they know straight away that this is going to be their card. Okay. They get to inspect it, they get to rip it open inside the card, they pull the card out, they reveal it, and boom, you get this really kind of strong finish or climax, as you would say, Darren, to the trick. So yeah, that is the structure and the way that I perform Card and Condom. So it's not a sleazy trick. It's a fun comedy kind of undulating trick that builds to this.
15 lectures we've had in this community. That was the first one where we had that. So round of applause to you. I have never had so much fun reading these comments. This is great. We did say that this lecture is every type of magic trick, from cards, coins, sugar, from all ages, from all ages. So yeah, perfect. Is there a release date for this, Kieran asks?
It's going to be released in the next couple of weeks. I'm only going to do batches of 50 at a time because I make them all myself. There's only so much lube I can cover myself in it. So yeah, it's going to be batches of 50. But I know there's I've got like a sign up to my newsletter thing, which will be dropped in the comments. Yes. And if you sign up to the newsletter, then you'll obviously be told about it. Because I don't think
obviously we have a good question here, which I think is self-explanatory, but you know, I'll still put it on screen. What environment audience would you do this for? Says Jacob.
Mostly young men. I tend to, I would say 95% of the time I perform this to men. Don't perform it to women. I don't want them. Although on the trailer, there is a woman that I do perform it to, but that's because I was at a gig and she came up to me and she was like, "What's this thing with a condom?" Yeah, okay. I will only perform it to a woman if I know that it's their sense of humor. If they've been, you know, if they've shown me that that's their sense of humor, then I'll be okay doing it. But I would never just do it cold to a woman. I always do it to a young man, you know, just because it's funny. And also, I do this. I literally have the condom in my hand, and I will go, I know we've just met, but here, and I'll shove my hand. and I don't expect everyone to be like this, like I am. I'm quite carefree and easy and like just jokey. And
yeah. In the UK, this joke probably works really well.
Any kind of, you could force it with digital force bag like I did with the tiny one. Yeah. Or you could, have you seen the coin behind the ear, that classic kids trick? This one's the adult version. You reach up and you pull the condom from behind their ear. You know, there's different ways to get into it. That's a great trick for kids magicians. Yeah.
So good. It'll guarantee you don't get gigs anymore, but it will. You can do it.
Yeah, it's a fun trick that is I was actually surprised at how many people love it. Like, because I
I
thought,
mean, I mean, you've got 115 people commenting about how much they love it right now. So there you go.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's also nice with the whole change. So the whole change, I'll show you the change because you might want to make this up, but the change is simply a double-sided one. Okay, but I haven't.
Nice.
I've done it like this. I've done this side here, and then the back side like that. So what this allows you to do is have it on that corner, and then when I do the change, I'm still on that corner and it's still horizontal. Okay, so you don't get like this weird orientation change. You still see the logo and then the logo. Okay, and all it is a little rotation in my hand as I come back and flip forwards. Okay, but yeah, that on its own is a great gag, and it's
That is.
this is the way to do it. Regular. Oh no, we all know that you're king size, and they love that. But if you get a heckler, you get a.
Well, do you do the opposite?
What have you got that for? Like, why have you got that? It's king size. We all know you're regular. And then what I'll do is I'll just pop it in my hand. I'll do a false transfer. I'll go, you keep hold of that, and I'll stiff it in their top pocket. But I'll stuff nothing.
So good.
Because then they're like, oh, what? Hey, hey. And you basically play them. You school them, and then they don't want to heckle you anymore. So
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, wow. This is getting a lot of love. This is absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Ben. But how 18 plus is your next trick?
not at all. Not at all.
Michael, you can come back. Anyways, let's go on.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll do this. I will get you back because I've just changed the screen just to look at something. But I've got these. These are actually printed by a buddy of mine. They are special gift cards. Okay. And these have loads of different things on them. Okay. I love these little cards. They're just fun to play around with. They've got loads of images of loads of different things. Okay. So my buddy Steve Rowe makes these. He's got a website called The Gimmick King, which is thegimmickking.co.uk or something, but it's only got one K in it for The Gimmick King. So it's The Gimmick King, not The Gimmick King. All right. But anyway, you can get them from him. But this would be a whole sort of thing where I would say, here, I'll tell you what, you're going to choose a gift. Whatever gift you get, you get. Okay. And this is when I have some fun where you can say it could be like a Toblerone. And there are some like in here that's like a laptop, or you could get a helicopter. It's a helicopter. And then I say, here, say stop. They say stop. And of course, they get this. They get to have a look at it. And then depends on how I want to go with this, what sort of people they are. Sometimes I give it, try to do some fake mind read. Sometimes I go here. So you got that. Could be any of these. You could have chosen any. All right. And they're all different. But what did you get? You got polos. Right. Oh, okay. And then that's when I can go, oh, where is it? I'm trying to work backwards. There. That red thing there. Been there the whole time. And it just so happens that inside here, I do have a pack of polos. Yay! Okay, and this is a nice kind of reveal. Okay, and you get this moment, which is great, and then you go here. I'll tell you what, we'll step it up a notch, shall we? And then I can get them to sign the packet. So that I'll just put the yeah. All right. And then I'm going to, oh, by the way, have you ever noticed on polos, the actual O's are polos on the logo? I don't know if you've ever noticed it. I think it's the small details that count, aren't they? but yeah, I'm going to take a couple of polos out. Now I'm going to move this down again as well. Bear in mind, this is kind of an awkward position for me to be performing. But yeah, I will then take the polos and I will place them in the spectator's hands or something like that. Okay. Now, this is when I take these two polos and I am going to do a little bit of magic. Because if you take the polos, wrap them up, and do this. Put this here. If I hold this here, I'll place them just there on the glass. All right. Actually, do you know what? Maybe I can do this a bit better if I do there. Okay, I'll hold it. The one glass is better. But here, I'll then take. Zap would like to control my camera. No, Zap, you can't. Sorry. Who is Zap trying to control my camera? But here.
Minus 10 points. Oh my god.
And now, those mints link. Now, this would be when they're still holding the pack, all right? And then I can say, well, the weird thing is that if the polos link here, they must also link on the pack. And that's when they check their signed pack and the polos are linked on the pack. They get the polos, they get the polo packet. You walk away, you're Dynamo, well, you're not Dynamo, but you feel like it. And so that is Linko. Any particular? Alan's like, oh.
Oh wait, I'm on camera. Oh, because literally, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. It's just banger after banger right now.
So Linko is one of my favorite. Like I've been doing this for years and years. But Linko used to be a packet which had two logos on. There was one with them linked and one with them not linked, and you would do a little polo, like a little paddle move. Okay, this is Linko Evolution, which is my preferred. These are the labels that I have made up. There was somebody called Matthew. I can't remember his surname. Matthew to me, but he bought Linko off me a lot. He was a gigger and he used it a lot. And thank you, Darren. I was going to say Matthew Wrights there, Seth, but I don't think it's Matthew Wrights. He came out with the Celebrity Scorch trick as well. And it's Matthew with one T. But yeah, he messaged me and we were thinking the same thing. He was like, is there a way to do it just with the packet so there is, just one logo on it? Okay. And that's when I was like, do you know what? If he's thinking that, I'm thinking that, I should do this. So I redesigned the labels so that there's only one linked polo logo on there. Okay. And then what you have is I have got a little extra sleeve. Okay. And this is going to be a little, oh no, it's gone on quite nicely. So now you get the prediction, polo matches. And then at any given point, this is what happens. I hold it like this. And when I go to take the two polos, I push up and that starts to slide this off. And then I get the two polos out. And as I get the polos out, I'm simply sliding that off. Okay. That's when I can go to my pocket, get the flash paper out, and then I can give this packet, which they've signed as well. Oh, by the way, I get them to sign it before I do that, obviously. And sometimes I don't even get them to sign it. It doesn't need to be, because there's no way you can switch it anyway. But yeah, I get them to hold on to it. And I say, here, hold it in your hand, and I place it in their hands, and I say, hold it like this, grip it tight, because you're going to use it like a magic wand at the moment, okay? And then, so they're just going to hold it like this. And I say, grip it tight, because you're going to hold it like a magic wand. I'm going to get you to do something, because then they don't kind of like, they aren't interested in looking at it. If you go here, do this and hold tight, then they might go, why am I holding tight or something? So I try to sort of give them a reason, and I say, here, you're going to hold it like this because you're going to wave it like a magic wand in a moment, okay? But before we do that, and that's when I've got the flash paper out, and I get the two mints, and I am just going to place them in a piece of flash paper. Now, I have in my pocket already got linked mints wrapped in some flash paper. Okay, so that's in there. and that's in my pocket. And again, I'm going to do the crossing the gaze switch. So I get the flash paper, I wrap these two up in it, and then I go here, go for the lighter, do the switch, and then I've got this wrapped in the flash paper here, and I get the lighter out. And then usually I would have, I like it, it's cool when you set it in a glass, okay, because you can kind of set it in the glass like that. I've only got a tiny bit of flash paper left now. I've been burning loads of flash paper. I have some more, but I can't be bothered to go and dig it out. But I would place it in like this, and then you get this nice, you put the lighter in, and you get this really nice it kind of just, because of the air, the flame just sits in the glass really nicely, and then you get this nice little image. It can be like that. The other way that you can do it is to turn the glass up on its end, stick that down, and then you place this in the flash paper on there, and then you get the boom on top of the glass. Okay, but you get this nice flash sort of linking mint, and of course then you get the kicker of them opening up their hand, and the packet has the link on it as well. You can, there's loads of different ways that you can perform it. I've got loads of different hand links that's going to come out, but that's the new Linko. But there's also, just because I now have Linko and it's going to be different, it comes off that way, card reveals. So that'll be the 8 of hearts. I've got the 7 of clubs is a nice one, because the 7 of clubs you would hold like this, and you would hold it like this and twist it, and it's like you twist the L upside down, so it's a 7, and then you can rub a bit off the C, so you get a C, 7 of C, 7 of clubs. There's the 7 of hearts. There is also a 2 of clubs, and that's what's going to be sort of wholesaled if I do wholesale it. But for anyone that's buying through me, there's going to be a little extra, which is a King of Hearts, which is just the King of Hearts. And I'm thinking what I might do as well is get some playing cards printed up that have the Polo logo on the card instead of the King of Hearts. So you get a whole little transposition. You do a double lift, you show the King of Hearts, you place it face down in their hand, you snap like this, and now you've got the King of Hearts on the label printed, and they turn their card over, and it's got the Polo logo on it. So yeah, that is Linko Evolution. That's going to be the next, probably the next release after Fuck with Card.
That's so cool. That is so cool. That is so visual, especially when you put the flash paper in the thing, and it's just lots of fire, lots of everything. This is so your style. This is so amazing. And I think people are super excited to see that come out. So
yeah,
this is
the glass. I didn't realize how pointed towards me it was. But
no, that was funny. That was great. That was great. I think I can't find the comment exactly now, but I think a few people were asking about in America, because they don't have polos, they have lifesavers. Do you have something for that?
Lifesavers, it works with lifesavers. I did when I did Linko, I did the lifesaver version, but let me know actually if anyone can let me know in America, because as far as I understand, it's really rare to have the packets of lifesavers. They now come in like bags or something. So let me know if anyone is in the US and can help me. Let me know. But yeah, I would probably make up a lifesaver version if they are still readily available in the States like that. But yeah, I'm not sure if they are. So, but you can always do the linking mint effect with the lifesavers. The only thing that you need to do, I believe, is the hole in the lifesavers is a little bit smaller than the actual Polo. So if you get like a Stanley blade, a little blade, you shove it in one of them and you just twist it around, you're going to widen that hole a bit up just to let you get the link through. But yeah, I saw somebody asking how you link the mints. And this is Ollie. So this is how you do it. Thumb on the bottom bit, thumb on the top, and this might work, it might not. Like you go through a few of them there. That one's worked really well. That one snapped. You get a snapping heart. Okay. Now I will put them like this, and I place one on top of the other, and then I put a tiny blob of super glue, just the tiniest blob of super glue on each of them, and then I turn this over and I stick it down. Okay, and once they're stuck, you just hold them and you just keep it, and you get the linked mints. All right. Now, if you get a really clean break, you get very minimal evidence. You can't really see it on the writing side, but on the other side, you might see a little line. Okay. That's one of the reasons I like using the flash paper, because when you use the flash paper, you get the you get like scorch marks. And
Yeah, that I noticed that when you did it, it looked really nice. It's a really great setup.
it hides any evidence. But if you don't want to use that, then what you can do is you can find, like, get a nail file or a fine bit of sandpaper and just rub that down a bit. Okay. And yeah, that is your linked mints.
Oh, and just warning: don't give it to your spectator to eat when you've super glued it. Just so they don't, email you.
You know what? Super glue was actually invented to heal wounds in the war. It was to skin back together. It is non-toxic. It's perfectly safe to eat.
No way.
Yeah. Like, if you pour super glue on your tongue, it turns solid as soon as it hits.
Or
I'm doing that.
just get edible glue.
Or as Darren says, yeah.
Thank you, Darren. 5 points.
Get edible glue, and that's so cake makers use edible glue to stick decorations onto cakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can get that.
No, perfect. That's perfect.
That is.
All right.
Oh, okay. Who said that? Tim has said.
Whatever that word is safe to eat once dry, just not tasty.
Boom! There you go, Tim. He seems to know a lot about it. He's called it by.
It sounds professional to know, but I would do your research before you start eating any glue, no matter what type. So you don't sue us.
I'm a fool.
don't sue us, okay? Anyways, all right, Ben. That is great. That is great.
All right.
That is great. Woo.
Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Because we're now into the last half an hour, aren't we? Wow.
Yep, we are.
Blabbed and blabbed. So, right. Let's do this. Alon, can we choose somebody?
I would love to choose somebody. You know what, Ben? I think you should choose somebody. In fact, maybe you should have the honors of choosing somebody using everyone's favorite, the wheel. All right, Ben, whenever you want.
Yep.
You're gonna take your linked polo thingy, and you're gonna tap as a magic wand on the wheel whenever you want, and it's gonna spin.
Right there.
Woo. Look, who's it gonna be? Darren! One of the Darrens. There's like 100 Darrens. I don't know.
There's a lot of Darrens.
There's like 7 Darrens. But Darren, I'm gonna unmute you and then just speak, okay? You'll see one of the Darrens, one of the free.
Hello, Darren. Can you hear me?
That's me.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Ben.
Good.
Let's just quickly. I can't put you on screen, Darren, but you're right here. You can see him right here.
Yeah.
Right there.
So Darren, I'll tell you what, Darren, do you know the difference between influence and mind reading? Before we begin, do you know the difference between influence and mind reading?
I don't, mate. No.
Well, thank you very much.
That's quite all right.
I'll give you a couple of examples, shall I?
Sounds good.
I'm not a mind reader. But if I was a mind reader, that's just for the sake of this. If I was a mind reader, if you would say any word right now, it would be
salad.
Not a mind reader. Salad. I can't even tie balloons to salad at all. Anyway, but yeah. If I was a mind reader, I'd have felt salad coming up inside your head, and I'd have said salad at the same time. Sadly, I'm not a mind reader, but I do use influence to give the illusion of mind reading. Okay, and what I mean by that is, if I could secretly influence your behavior, then I can get you to. I can sort of predict your behavior, and as long as you feel it, then it feels like real magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through the cards like this. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll drop a few down, And then whenever you like, you can just sort of say stop. Okay.
Stop.
You happy there?
Yeah, that's fine. Brilliant.
Now, it doesn't. This is. It's really hard doing this through the screen and everything like that. But I'll do this, and I'm going to write down a little prediction. All right. Bear in mind, if we were performing, you'd be holding on to this. I wouldn't be seeing it. I wouldn't be touching it. Yeah. But here I'm going to go. All right. This is my prediction. This is so awkward. Yeah. That's my prediction. Okay, you could have said stop anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel influenced?
No, no.
I told you it was riddled with my influence. Like playing cards, all right? That was my choice, my influence. I never let you shuffle the cards either.
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I had some sort of control over how many cards I was dropping or whether I was watching whether you were about to say stop or whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
You all these things together, it feels like I really did have an influence over you because you stopped here at the Queen of Spades, right?
Yeah.
And I just so happened to write the Queen of Spades.
That's mine. Yeah.
So that is kind of like influence, right? But it doesn't stop there. Oh no, there is more to this, and I can show you. There is my light, boop, 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 right by my finger. There. Right over there. You see? On my light, there is something. It is a folded card. Now, I haven't actually been near there at all. There, right? This is the
Yeah.
first
Mhm.
said any word in the whole world. You remember the word that you said?
I do. It was salad.
And I don't know if you can see this because it's in different writing, but I actually wrote the word salad before we even began.
Oh yeah, I think we can actually see it. Yeah. Do you guys see
Yes,
that?
mate.
In like
Nice.
in yellow. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
There it is. There it is.
Woo! Ben Williams. Thank you, Darren, so much for helping. That's 50.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, buddy. All right. So yeah, so this is my anything routine. I say it's mine, it's my routine, but obviously it's we stand on the shoulders of giants. It's not a technique that I invented. It's based off the one ahead principle. And what it is I love the I love sort of mental epic and stuff like that, but I find mental epic is so if you know a mental epic routine, what it is you're one ahead. So you would say, here, think of any random word, okay, and you would write something down, and then you'd screw it up, and you go, just I'm committed now. What was the word that you were thinking of? And they would say banana or whatever. And you go, oh, okay. Now, can you think of a random color? You go, here, before you say it, I'm going to write down, and then you write down a random color, or it could be anything, a random date. Okay, and you screw it up and you say, now I'm committed. What was the color that you were thinking of? I said turquoise. You go, okay, so fair enough. And then you would say here, and the third one would be a force. And the way it works is you are working one ahead. So the first thing that you write down when you commit is the force. You drop it, they tell you what the word is they were thinking of. You then write that word when they're thinking of a color and this, all right? Now, it's nice, but it's a bit long-winded, and it's also usually 2 bits of really crazy information that you could never possibly know, and then something that you force, which is very limited, okay? So I was playing around. I wrote a book called Repertoire many years ago, and one of the routines that I did was I had somebody write a word down, and I had a peek of it, and somebody chose a card, and then sealed inside an envelope inside my pocket was a card of a different coloured back that matched the card that they chose, and on the back of it had the word that they thought of as well. And it was like this whole, it was a great the whole idea of the effect was really great, but it was a bit like, you do this, and now this is going to happen, and you're going to do that, and then this is going to happen, you're going to do this, and you do that, and all this kind of stuff, right? And it felt a bit kind of processy, and also you have this reveal, you go, and the word is goat. You go, was that the word that you thought of? And they have to then verify it and everything like that. And I was trying to get this in a working situation where it worked for me as a performer. And there's a trick by Jay Sankey called Graffiti. And what he does is he has the name of the spectator, their name is written on the back of the card. And it could be somebody that you've never met before that you don't know their name. And I love the fact that it was information that you were told. Okay, so what this is just pure structure. What I have, let me just. So what I have is, I have a force item. So what you're doing is you're forcing one thing, and then you're getting a bit of information. But you get the bit of information first. So I have a stack of business cards, and I have Queen of Spades or whatever force card, and then have a blank card on top of it. Right now, that's my setup there, and you can use any force that you like. But what I've been playing around with recently is doing this. And what this is I would go through a few cards, and then I'd say, here, I'll tell you what, I'll drop a few cards to the table, and there's no breaks, there's nothing like this. You start dropping the cards to the table, they say stop, and wherever they stop, they have a card, and it's always going to be your force card. Okay, because this is actually a one-way force deck. Okay, it's a one-way force deck, and all I've done is I have added a few extra cards to the top and the bottom just to give those added convincers. Okay, and so I will start like this. So I'm kind of talking and I'm showing the cards. Okay, and especially if I've switched this in after another card trick in a parlor performance or something like that, then there's no way that they would get ahead. All right, and then all you're doing is you're just dropping the first packet or two is the first 6 or 7 cards that are indifferent on the top, and then the rest are just force cards. Okay, I've messed this up a little bit because of performance here, but the rest are just force cards, and the bottom one is a force card anyway. Yeah, Tim. It was a one-way force. There was no breaks, no nothing like that. Because obviously you could do a timing force if you want. That's totally possible. But I don't think you don't need it. Or you can, you can do any force you like. Actually, do you know, most of the time when I do perform it, sort of at gigs, I'm actually doing a cross-cut force. And the cross-cut force, I will do. I sometimes do it in my hand. So I say cut about half the cards and put them on my hand. And so they put half the cards on my hand. And of course, the top card is the force card. They put half the cards on my hand. And then I say, place the other cards on top, but don't square them up. Put them at a funny angle so you know where you cut the cards. So now I'm holding the cards like this and I can be totally free. All right. And that's when I then lift up the cards and they can take their force card. And it's just the original top card of the deck. But it's a nice, I like doing it with the cross-cut force because it works well with the patter. Like, were you influenced? Well, it was my cards, I never let you choose the cards or anything like that. I then said cut the cards close to the middle, which you did perfectly, kind of thing like that. So it works with the patter. But yeah, essentially what's happening is I am structuring this with my words. So first of all, I'm going to tell them I'm not a mind reader. I don't want them getting ahead of me. I want this whole word prediction at the end to be a complete surprise. Okay, I don't want them thinking, "Oh my god, is he about to guess my word?" Yeah. So the way I do this is I say, "Do you know the difference between influence and mind reading?" There's 2 ways you could do it. This is my favorite way. So, do you know the difference between influence and mind reading? I say, so if you say you do know, I go, great. Inform us, please. And then I make it kind of awkward. But then if that's not the case, if they say no, I don't, I go, well, here, I'll tell you what, we'll explain. Now, if I say inform us and they do explain exactly what it is, I go, yeah, so you do know. I'll tell you what, we'll do a couple of examples so that everybody else fully understands. And then I say, now, if I was a mind reader, which I'm not, but if I was a mind reader, if you would say any word in the world right now, it would be, and I gesture my hand out and I linger with the B, and I just look at them and I prompt them with all my actions and everything like that to say a word. Okay. And then as they say a word, I just shout a word out as well. So I might say balloon. Okay. Usually I say balloon because it just is just, I don't have to think of a new word every time. Okay. And then I'm not going to get it right. If I do get it right, I mean, it's fun, and you can just say, "Oh wow, that's never happened before. Let's draw it again, quick, quick, quick." And I'll give you a little pointer as to what happens in the reveal if you do that. But yeah, so Darren said salad, and I would say balloon as he said salad, and I go, see, not a mind reader. Okay, if I was a real mind reader, I'd have seen the word salad bubble up inside your head, and I'd have said salad. Okay, now I'm in this position where I have the force card, the card on top, and I go, now what I'm going to do though is I'm going to use influence to give you the illusion of mind reading. And sometimes I say, like, if you drive, imagine you were driving and I was a spectator or a passenger. If I secretly influence whether you turn left or right at every junction, then I could influence you to a destination which I could predict ahead of time. And as long as you didn't feel influenced, then it feels like real magic, yeah? And they get on board, they're like, yeah, I get it. And I go, don't worry, I'm not going to take you for a drive, but I'm going to write something down and I'm going to influence you to come to that very same conclusion. And this is when I will write salad. Now, I'll get into this. I have a Sharpie that writes in a different color. Okay. Now, I'm here. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to push that over and second deal this card with the force down onto the table, have somebody put their hand on it. Then I'm going to do the card force and you get this nice reveal. What's happening whilst that's going on though, is I am just going to fold this up and just squeeze it in my hand. Okay. And then I'm ready just to fold it over again. I don't do a Mercury card fold or anything like that. I literally just fold this in front of people because the presentation is so strong and there's all this attention down here. Okay. So now I've got the card folded. All right. You also, you might not need to if you want to use like some other reveal, but this is how I like to do it with the folded card. Yeah, and then you get this nice sort of reveal where the card is correct, where card matches the prediction, and you can be like to magicians, this is like, but to lay people, that's really strong. It's really impactful. It's really, really like, what? How did you know that? And then I can say, I'll tell you what, that was all good. That was all good, but that's 1 in 52. I don't know what the odds on words are. And that's when you can say, do you remember right at the beginning, I stuck something underneath a plate, or can you see over there? And that's when I will have another folded card. And this is when I will do any number of switches that I want where I can switch the card and then I can reveal it, okay? And when you reveal it, you say here, you could have said any word, but you said salad. And that blows people's minds. That is just like otherworldly. That's when they're scared. That's when they run away. That's when they give up, basically. So yeah, that is my anything routine, which is this whole mind reading thing. It doesn't fit me personally as a performer. This, however, this kind of routining and this conversational piece kind of works for me much more as a performer. So yeah, Guy, you're a legend.
5 points. No, that was amazing. There's literally like I've said this 10 times already, Ben, but like we've had a lot of lectures and they've all been great, but the amount of comments of just how much people are enjoying this right now is absolutely unbelievable.
I haven't had the chance to look through.
I will send, you know what, Ben? After the lecture, I'll send you a text file of all the comments. It'll be like a 10-hour read, but you know.
No, I'll tell you what, do that. Send it to me. What I will do is for my subscribers, so subscribe to my newsletter, and I will answer the questions and stuff like that in a newsletter.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Right. We will do that for sure.
So yeah,
but yeah, that was so great. Anyway, let me quickly have a look. Tell me if you see one, just press it. Of this, anything about this trick specifically? I was just looking at all the amazing comments. I was looking at specific questions. But oh, here you go. Guy has asked why. Oh no, Guy has asked why the miscolored pen.
Just so that it's just an added layer of deception, because you only write. They see you write a card force with a black pen. So the only thing that you write after they say the word is written in a black Sharpie. So it's a disconnect from that. You don't need it, but it does add another element of deception and like takes them further away from where the method is and how it could have happened. But yeah, you don't need it, but it is. I like it. I like it. Some nice. And I don't even say, oh, this morning I woke up and I had a dream and I took my red pen. I used to say that, like I took my red pen and I wrote a word down. Like I don't even write that anymore or say that anymore. I just simply feel it, and it's in a different color, and that's that. So yeah. So the switch that I did then was one of the switches on my Switch project. Just so you know, I've got a promotional code that they're going to put in the chat for 20% off Switch or rings if you want. And yeah, and so you can learn all the 5 switches. There's a ton of, it's not just switches. The switches take up about 15 minutes of an hour and a half tutorial. There is loads of routines on there. So yeah, so that's that. But I will show you this because this ties me in with the next bit. If you were doing, say that was the word. If you were doing anything, then you can actually do this where you, oh, I've just knocked it up and dropped it. Where you then, sorry, that wasn't very smooth, was it? But the whole idea is that you would then reach into your pocket, you'd pull this out, you would have an envelope, and then they can check the envelope out. Sealed inside the envelope is another envelope, okay? And sealed inside that, we rip that one open. Inside that, you then have the prediction, and you can stick another business card in there if you like. And so yeah, that is that's another impossible location that you could put the word prediction if you wanted to. Okay, and that is utilizing something which I called envelope, which essentially that's envelope. And it's literally that. It's a piece of paper like this. It allows you to, or it's not a piece of paper, it's a card, but it allows you to feed it into an envelope, which you can then attach inside so that you have this area to drop inside an envelope, right? I'll quickly go into the envelope business in a moment, how you open and reseal it. But that's kind of envelope, because the whole idea was it was to try. I went on a cruise ship gig, and I usually have my Jerry O'Connell Plus wallet, and you can load envelopes inside the wallet, right? And you just get the little envelope load there. And I brought 50 envelopes onto this cruise ship gig that I had, and I didn't take my Jerry O'Connell. And I was just like, what am I going to do? And I really wanted to do like stuff inside sealed envelope. So I came up with that. And it was just a makeshift sort of solution, if you like. And I just pinned it inside my jacket, and I ended up just dropping stuff in. And then you drop it in, you pull it off, and then your thumb can just seal across the top as you gesture and give it out to them. And they have the item sealed inside. But playing around with it, I started to I'm always trying to think of making things practical for work. And so I came up with the idea of actually, I'll show you this like this really quickly, because again, I know we're running well out of time, but yeah, this one would be like this. This would then be inside another envelope. I'll take this business card, separate it out. This would then go inside here, okay? And I'd squeeze a bit of it shut. Okay, so I then have this little pocket I can load into, and that has a couple of magnets on, and I have one in there with a couple of magnets on, and it just sticks there. But this allows me to make a few of these up and then just have them in my inside pocket. So once I've loaded, say it's a signed coin or a ring, and I drop that in, I pull it off, okay? Then all I'm going to do is just, if you kind of like gesture a little bit, and that allows you to then seal up the envelope, okay? And then you can hand this out to a spectator, because they can then rip it open, and inside would be this one, and this one would be sealed the same way that that one was. They can then rip this open, and inside that envelope would be the signed coin or the ring or the signed card or the prediction or whatever you want. But that just allowed me, having this little magnetic setup, allowed me to have a few of these and just go donk, and then just rip that off and donk, and just chuck another one on there, and not have to fiddle around with trying to feed something onto my jacket as I'm trying to be subtle at a gig. So yeah, does that make sense to everyone?
Give us a thumbs up. I think so. I think so.
Cool.
Oh my gosh.
So
We're doing really good on time so far. Kind of.
So no, these are the kinds of envelopes that you want. These ones which have you don't want the envelopes that have this sort of triangular fold. You want this one that's sealed along the side there. Yeah. Then you're gonna get, you can iron, but hair straighteners. Hair straighteners, set them, and then all you're going to do is just hair straightener on the glue, and then that allows you to then peel open the envelope. That will open up. Okay. Then what you do is, once it's kind of opened, give me 2 secs. I'll grab.
Hi, entertainment from Alan. Ben, come back. He's gone.
Earlier. So this is what you end up with once you steamed it open. You have that, okay? And then all I do is you add rubber cement along here and along there, okay? And then once there's rubber cement in it, you want to take I use a business card, and I just stick the business card in there, seal it up, and now that's ready for me to perform, okay? And obviously, if I'm doing the other envelope in the envelope, it's the same thing with the rubber cement to seal the one side of it, okay? With a pay envelope, though, they come like this, all right? So all I do is I cut a little bit of this off, like that, and then I put glue on this bit, fold that in, and then glue the other bit there. So you don't even need to unsteam these. And then yeah, that's got the rubber cement on. So when something goes in and this is taken off, the divider's taken off, you then just have to squeeze and the rubber cement seals it, and you have a perfectly sealed envelope with a perfectly sealed envelope inside.
Ben, that is perfect. I didn't see any questions yet, but I did see one question about what I'm assuming is the next and final thing you're about to teach. Are we correct? Let me do some mind reading. Think about it, thinking. Is it that?
It is, yes, it is. It is. We're gonna have to hurry up. I wish I was show you photo frame as well, but what I'll do is I'll show photo frame's gonna come out as well. I'll show that. But you'll have to subscribe. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You'll have to subscribe.
But just before you do it, let's tell people, because from this moment, you guys, if you're watching the recording, I'm so sorry, because it's about to vanish and snap and will appear in the end of this live. That is really, really good. And that's not going to be in the recording. So I hope you guys like that. Ben, you're incredible. Now, guys, don't leave just yet. Don't leave just yet. Because we're quickly going to do just because of time, we're going to do like a rapid fire Q&A. The questions might look like they take a while for you to answer, but you're going to rapid fire them, Ben. And then challenge. Are you up for the challenge?
Yeah, I'm up for everything, Alan.
Let's go. And then we're going to have a look at our leaderboard. So points are done now. We have our winner for the points. I have spent the behind the scenes absolutely going crazy giving people points in the background. I mean, the engagement has been off the charts tonight. Anybody who's asked a question, you go for it, and there's so much more. And then we are gonna show you guys some incredible things that Ben has for you guys. So please stay here for that. Ben, these are some really interesting questions. By the way, Darren commented earlier. I really liked that rings was his second favorite trick after he was after Linko. Perhaps the two effects are linked. Maybe. But anyways, we have a few questions, and Tom has chosen them in the background. Let's go. I don't even know what they are. Question number 1: what made you into creating magic? Steph asked them.
Jay Sankey. Jay Sankey
Wow.
was. I ever bought stuff off after the whole Royal Road to Card Magic thing and getting like cigarette through card and those gimmicks. I got Sankey very much and paper clipped on VHS, and it was watching those. I was like, "What? You can create magic?" And he did a ship in a bottle using a Erdnase card change, and I was like, "So he's not just changing cards; he's changing the ink on cards." And that kind of that made me go, "I can create magic." And that I started then just going, well, what can I do? What can I do different? And that was the start of that. And yeah.
Perfect. Next question is, Tom, that is not a question. Oh my God, Ben, what the? Well, answer that one. Answer that one. Ollie, thank you so much for that. All right. Next is, Kieran asks, what's the best place to learn coins as I'm trying to get into coin work? I have Bobo, Nightshade, and Apparition. Boom. What do you think?
I would say study someone like David Roth, someone that does some basics. Like even if you got In the Beginning, there were coins by Penguin Magic. But what I would strongly suggest with coin magic is get a couple of routines, okay? Because it's the routining which will help you with coin magic. Because just going, oh, here's a coin and it's gone, it's like, where's it gone? It's there.
Yeah.
Like you have no confidence. So try to get something with some routine. So maybe Revolutionary Coin Magic 2.0 by Jay Sankey. That's great. That's got some great routines. And yeah, that would be a better way to start rather than just learning the sleights and trying to just do a coin vanish and one coin routine, because you'll get best.
Thank you. Just before the next question, a bunch of people asking like, oh, can you repeat this and that again? Guys, you'll have access to recording everything but the rings at the end, so you can go back to that. All right, next is Daniel asks, which particular Vanish is your favorite?
I would say probably this one, the old heel tip Vanish. But
that's the only coin Vanish I know, so the fact that it's your favorite means I'm happy with
I love it. It's because it's in your hand. It's definitely in your hand.
Yeah. It's really good, actually.
So, and then just like press the thing and you just drop it out. So it's there.
There you go, Daniel. There you go. Next, Doug Thornton, Sam161.com. Thank you for the advertisement there. Ben, why do you have the Goodfellas poster displayed prominently? Great movie for this New Jersey boy.
Because it was the first bit of artwork I ever bought. My wife and I, we saw it in the shop and we were like, oh my God, that's wicked. And yeah, so it's the first bit of artwork I ever bought. I love it. It's I don't know if you actually look at it as well. It's kind of
oh gosh, wow.
It's kind of like contours, so it's not just a photo, it's quite contoured and printed. It's nice. And
that beats the question. I think David Jonathan was asked about his favorite Netflix TV show, so that is more creative. Congrats, Doug. What a creative question. Juan is asking, how many decks of cards do you use in one gig? Is it 70, 80? How much? 2. Wow.
Yeah,
there you go, Juan.
I have one deck.
It's just
blazing through. When I get to about 35 cards left, then I might switch it out for a new one.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, we go. What's your inspiration on doing the effect on this lecture?
Oh golly. So each effect is kind of spiraled from either a necessity like Envelode and some other things are, and like the rings routine and stuff like that are like, how can I make this workable? What can I do? The opener was purely because that's my way of interacting with people and getting into it. I talked about Thanos and why I created that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to take a plot and then really, really milk it. So I love like linking. I've got so much stuff on linking stuff.
Really?
I've got, I'm going to probably release Chain at some point, which is 2 signed cards, link and then unlink, and you give them, and they can't link them. But yeah, So I kind of take a plot and then I really squeeze it and really push it, and then I perform it, and then sometimes it changes, sometimes I drop it, but yeah. Oh, this one as well with the underneath.
Yeah. Wow. That was good.
That was my wanting to do something like Hard Through Windows. So what I did was I would gimmick a load of bottles. Okay, so I'd have maybe 3 or 4. I'd probably only do it once or twice at the gig, but if they serve Budweiser at the gig, I would just put this down on a table, and then it's just there ready for me to do. And then it's like, oh, if I could get the card in that bottle, would that be good? And then it's in under the label of the bottle, and that just messes people up. So yeah, so it's like how to get as much impact as possible without making it too convoluted, and keeping it direct and simple to perform as well, so that I can engage with people.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, and now I have collected 17 different comments saying how amazing you are. In a moment, I will do that, but which we've never done before, because there's so many amazing things that people wrote. But before we do that, I do want to do and say a massive, massive thank you, Ben, for everything you've done, and the best way that you guys can support Ben. And I want to show you guys. We're gonna show you guys exactly how you can do that, and I'll let you explain it. Really, should we start with the incredible newsletter you have? I don't know if you guys are part of Ben's newsletter. Type yes in the chat if you are, but he's got. I saw someone earlier say that they were. Type yes in the chat. See, 100% of people here are newsletter. No, to those no. To those is a no. There you go, Ben. Let's give them. Let's show them this. Let's show them this. Let's show them this. Tell them what this newsletter is, and this QR code is good.
So my newsletter essentially is I decided I want to build a bit more of a community, and be a bit more prominent for people and for magicians. And so with my newsletter, I started a format called Free Mail, which is taken by somebody called James Clear, who released the book Atomic Habits, which is, there's 3 parts to this email. There's something new, okay? There's something to learn, and then there's something that inspires me. And so the idea is that I will have something new, whether it's news about a product, or whether it's something that I've seen that is new, or something that's, something that's newsworthy. And then there'll be something to learn, and it might be a trick. It might be a different, it could be something like that take on the backslip force, a little subtlety that I have. It might be a linguistic trick or something to do, or, just something to learn, something that you can take away from it. And then there's something that is, I find inspiring. And this allows me to either share magic that I've seen that has inspired me, or just something in life that's inspired me, which isn't magic related, but I find inspiring. And so the whole idea is to give people, I don't want to just go, this is my newsletter, sign up so I can tell you about all my new products and stuff. Yeah. I actually want to give back. I want to share my thoughts with the community, and so this is my place.
And it really is. I'm looking at some people here saying that they're part of that and they get a lot of value from that, and I completely agree. It's really great, and lots of people are signing up. Make sure you guys sign up. The QR code. And how much is this newsletter? Is it like $700 or so? How much is it?
Yeah. When you sign up for a monthly fit, no, it's free.
It's free. It's free. And talking about free stuff, Ben, do you have something else that Tommy and Joseph can now put in the chat? What is this? They're gonna put a link in the chat, guys. Make sure you check the chat right now. Tommy and Joseph will put it a few times for you guys.
If you already subscribe to my newsletter, you may already have it. If you don't, then subscribe and you get it automatically. If you don't want to subscribe but you want this, go to that page there.
That's the link. In the chat.
You get over 100 quid's worth of my previous releases. So there's labeled Evolution, there's Gimmick It Yourself 2, there's Impression, there is the Terrible Sessions, my repertoire booklets, there's oh golly, Card and Shoe. There's over 100 quid's worth of stuff. I just decided to put my back catalogue out there for free. So the only 2 things that I sell myself right now are Switch and rings. The rest of it is free for you to have.
It's all on there. It's all on there. You get the video tutorials, everything. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know why Ben's doing it, but he's amazing. I know, Matthew. But
I'd rather do this. I'll tell you exactly why, and I'll be completely straight up. I'd rather do this, give this for you for free, and ask, can I please email you and keep in touch and build a community, rather than try to hold on to these effects and try and make some money off them. I'm like, just give them out, and like
and I completely understand you because it's exactly what we do here. It's the biggest fic in the world. But I will say Ben does have two things that are absolutely phenomenal, which Tommy and Joseph are now going to put in the chat, and it is rings, which you've seen, but you also have Switch. Ben, briefly tell them, and then there's a question about it too, if it works for billet switches, and I know the answer is yes, but I want you to say that, and so much more. Just tell them, because Switch is phenomenal, just recent, and
Yes.
you can get it for 20% off on that link, guys.
Yeah. So Switch is 5 different switches. There may be a bonus switch in there, but essentially Switch is there's 5 different switches that I've come up with for unfold. They're kind of folded card switches, so they can be used for billet work, yeah. And there are some tricks that are related to that. But there's the 5 switches, and then there is something like 9 routines that I teach that utilize the switch, from everything from just a simple mystery card and my ideas and different takes on a mystery card plot to impossible locations. There's a guess which hand that I love doing, which is a prediction, which is an ungimmicked, no electronics, guess which hand routine where you end up predicting which hand they're going to put a folded card in 3 times in a row. You can predict an ungimmicked coin toss 3 times in a row. You can force things. There's a billet routine where you get a full peek of their card, utilizing these switches and the routining. There's a parlor box routine where it's ungimmicked. You know, where you get billet boxes where they switch all the.
Yeah.
This is that same thing, like the Amaze box or something like that, but it's an
without it.
box and ungimmicked cards and everything like that. And so yeah, there's a whole ton of stuff on there. And also, if you buy it from me instead of off of, because I have put it out through Penguin and other people, but if you actually buy it directly from me, yeah, Magic Man London, thank you, David. You get bonus routines. So what I want to do with my stuff is I have a platform on Gumroad that allows me to update my products. So if I stick something new in a product, everybody that has bought that product can log in through their original email to the content page and get these bonus routines for free. And so I'm constantly kind of putting new ideas and bits and bobs into these.
And once again, you can use the best code in the history of codes. Ben is awesome because he is so awesome. And you can get both rings too, by the way, the actual tutorial on that to support Ben and Switch. And to those of you watching the recording right now and you're curious, like, oh, I didn't see rings. Well, right here, 20% off. Use code Ben is awesome. So
give me 2 seconds, because somebody's just poked up that posted up that they can see Switch, but they don't know where the promo code is. So is there?
Like to quickly check out?
Done this. Is there no way to add a promo code? Because I set the promo code. There's no way to do it.
I think it's usually with. I think if it's on Gumroad, I think I know. It's when you get to the last checkout phase, you will see on the top right promo code, but you have to go to the final phase just before you're about to pay. It will say promo code. Make sure you check that, okay? But if you guys do, I mean, you could check that now. In the meantime, if you have any problem, they can reach out to you, right?
Yeah.
How do they reach out to you?
So my email is unbelievablemagic@gmail.com. You can email me and yeah, we'll do that. I'm just going through just to see.
Have a look and let me know. But
it
should be on the Gumroad end.
Treating me like I own the thing for some reason.
But yeah, you guys should find it and you can write.
I'm gonna have a look at that right now. And I'm gonna sort that out right now.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben. And in the meantime, whilst you do that, what I'm gonna do, yeah, perfect. You do that, and I'm gonna, in a moment, after I reveal who won this points thing, we are gonna bombard you with now it went from 17 to 25. Just comments about how awesome he is. So because he is awesome. He's awesome. All right, we're nearly done. We're nearly done, guys. We're sorry for running a little over time, but let's see who won. This is the first time we've done gamification. So the top 5 people on the whoever had the most points today for just being awesome. Does it work? Ben?
The link there, apparently that is the link directly. So it's the same gumroad.com/L/switch with a 5 / is awesome. And that should take you directly to the 20% off page.
Perfect.
That's what Gumroad says to me anyway.
Perfect.
But yeah, if anybody does have any issues or any problems like
How
that,
did they email you? Unbelievable.
if I'll tell you what, if you can't for any reason, I can always refund the 20% or anything like that, or you can just get in contact with me. I'll send you a direct link or whatever.
And Ben is easy to reach out to, guys. So just make sure you do that. Perfect. Well, this is a leaderboard.
Who is it?
We have 5 people. Ollie has 20 points. Matthew Tolman had 20 points for that correct answer. Joining us 20 points. With 25, we have Darren Bain.
Aaron Baines.
And Guy with 25. We have 2 tied people. Which means I'm just gonna do it. Darren and Guy, if you guys let me put this up here. 1 second. If you guys email us right here, we will send you each an At the Table Live lecture of your choice, thanks to Murphy's. So Darren Bain and Guy, just email
I did
us.
a Table Live lecture once.
Oh yes! Wait, of your choice, and you can get Ben's one actually if you want. No, that's true. That is actually true. How long ago was that?
Oh golly, 2017 or something.
Oh
like
my gosh!
a long time ago.
Wow! Oh, here you go. By the way, Danny has a link. So
Put the code in the link worked.
if you do this, yeah, putting in the code in the link works. Said yeah. Okay, here you go. And then you can use this exact link for the direct link.
Thank you so much. Yeah, sorry about that. I set it to live. It said yay, and
nah, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. Well, now we have active people, and we'll keep doing this gamification thing. Guys, let me just bombard Ben with this. So really quickly, this is my first lecture, and I've been completely mesmerized and glued to the screen. I look forward to many more. Alan,
thank you, Alan.
This is the place. We only bring the best of the best, and Ben is the best of the best. Great lecture, very inspirational.
Thank you.
Superb lecture. Thank you, Ben. Lord Harry said, what an amazing lecture. Thanks, that was awesome. That was amazing. Thanks for this lecture. Thanks on the team. We've got 5 more. Fantastic, Ben. Great lecture, Ben. We only do this for you, Ben. Yes, Ben, amazing, dude. Thank you for a great lecture. That was Lord Harry. Lord Harry, I don't even know he's there. I think he's there with the incredible James Keeney, which is absolutely incredible. They're there together. What legends. I will just say, Paul, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I just say a massive thank you to Harry? I know he's not there, or I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know if they can hear us. James he's doing something, but I don't know. I just want to say Harry is incredible because Harry got us in touch for this. So Harry is amazing. And if you want to see Harry's lecture, he did one also for us. You can check that out in our recordings. Thank you, Alan, for bringing Ben, of course. Ben, I will be using your skills and my routines in Brisbane, Australia.
Alan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you get the point, Ben. I mean, oh my God. This is people's first lectures and they're enjoying it. I'm going to be honest, I've never seen you before now, but you're actually insane. Love your Magic Man. Best Magic on Society lecture ever. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And I just
access past lectures. You can go to the society. There's products. Everything's free, of course. You go to lecture replays. Tommy will put a link in the chat right now.
Thank you so much. Can I just very briefly, I know I've overrun, can I just say thank you, Alan, thank you, Tomo, Joseph, thank you, Lord Harry, for getting me involved. Thank you to everyone that showed up. I have a job that I love doing. I love my career. I love this, and it's all because of people like you. So thank you so much.
We appreciate it so much. We really, really do. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for everything. This really was one hell of a lecture. It was really, really good. And people asking, where can I get a recording yet? Tom has put the link. So on that link, tomorrow morning, you will receive an email. I'll also put your newsletter and stuff there, Ben. And you'll get, hopefully, I'll get it out tomorrow morning for you guys, or tomorrow afternoon, worst case, on that link. And there you have all the recordings for Quick Petty, David Johnson, Capernell, and a million other people. So thank you so much, Ben. We're going to leave with the theme song again and a nice end credits. So stay for that. Ben, stay just a bit after everybody leaves.
Yes.
And you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time. And we will see you in the next lecture. Little fun teaser. Someone in, we don't know the date yet, June, July, with the name Ben also. Not Ben Williams, Ben is a, but another Ben will be coming to the society. That's all I said. I've said too much. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Magic House Society out. Ben, you're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Step into the world of tricks and cheers. Magical art societies where all appears. With Joseph and Tomer at the helm. Free resources for everyone in this realm. Weekly jams where we all connect. Spreading wonder, what did you expect? Monthly lectures, magicians renowned. In this magic haven, joy is found. Magic Alliance Society, where illusions set us free. Come join the fantasy, you and me, in the spellbound symphony. Across the globe, we come together. Magic binds us, light as a